today in Madison, Wisconsin, where the Wisconsin Badgers, winners of the berth in the Big Ten championship game from the West Division, will take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Hi again, everybody. Alongside Matt Millen, I'm Kevin Kugler. Wonderful to have you with us to wrap up the regular season here in Madison today. We know Michigan and Ohio State still going on a tight battle in Columbus. Those two teams, one of which could be in that Big Ten championship game against Wisconsin.
And so what happens is the path becomes a little clearer, still a little bit muddled. But if Michigan wins, they know they have not only an opportunity to win the Big Ten title, but then get on to the playoffs because they could be the top 4 team. Other than that, it gets a little more muddled, and there are still games to play next week in championship games of the ACC and the Big 12, and then it will be finally cleared up.
Well, let's talk about motivation for Wisconsin today, then. They've already clinched the division, but there's a lot for this Badger team to play for.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, it's all in front of them, too. Look, nothing happens, though, however, until they beat this team. They've got to win this team. They've got to carry momentum going forward, because there's a lot out in front of them, the least of which is becoming a top 4 team and getting into the college playoffs.
And don't forget, this is a rivalry game. Minnesota wants to claim Paul Bunyan's axe. It's been a while. The Badgers want to keep it. A lot on the line today at Camp Randall in Madison. As old as college football, a border battle played for Paul Bunyan's axe. The Gophers haven't bested Wisconsin since 2003. Will they bring back the axe, or will the Badgers win it for a 13th straight year? One of the great rivalry games in all of sport, Minnesota and Wisconsin. Camp Randall Stadium in Madison. As we get set to get this one started, we check in for the first time today with Lisa Byington.
Kevin, quiet and businesslike was the mood on the Wisconsin bus to the team hotel last night as that Iowa and Nebraska game was wrapping up. In fact, I talked to a couple of Badger assistant coaches, and I said, did Coach Chris congratulate anyone on the division title? And the answer was, well, he kind of did and he kind of didn't. He met with his staff here this morning and said, congratulations, I guess. But we all know that today is a big game for us. In fact, when I talked to Coach Chris on the field in the pregame, he said, Lisa, today is big. Today is big. Today is big.
I think he's impressing on his players that today might be big. You know it's big for us because Mike Pereira is with us in our studios, keeping an eye on all of the rules and everything that's going on. If we've got any questions, Mike will have the answers, and we'll check with him as needed throughout the course of this one. Minnesota wins the toss, and they have elected to receive. The Gophers are going on offense first in this one. Little wind today, thwarting the attempt at the kickoff. As you can see, a mild day, or at least a crazy group of students. One of the two. 46 degrees as we get set to kick off this battle for Paul Bunyan's axe. And the kickoff into the band. It got to the drum line as Minnesota will come out to the 25-yard line. And here comes Mitch Leidner. Leidner is the first Big Ten quarterback since Antoine Randall to have over 7,000 pass yards and over 30 rushing touchdowns in his career. Elite company. He's going to need to be very good both running and passing today.
The big matchup today you're watching, it's going to be this Wisconsin defense against this Minnesota run game. And Mitch Leidner will be the wild card in this play.
Rodney Smith, the running back, Drew Wolotarski in motion. And on first down, Smith with the carry and Beagle with the stop near the 29-yard line. Let's check out Valero's keys to the game today, Matt.
Yeah, it's real strong, and it's controlling the line of scrimmage for this Minnesota Gopher offense. If they can control the line of scrimmage against a really talented defensive front of Wisconsin, they've got themselves a chance.
And TJ Edwards down on the first play. Defensive coordinator Justin Wilcox says he's our most explosive guy inside. He had an interception last week, and this is just his 3rd game back from injury. And Edwards slow to get up, but a good sign. Up and moving, and that looks really good.
Yeah, yeah. Edwards is the guy who's, you can see him number 53 right in the middle of your screen. Edwards is the guy who's a high school quarterback and came in here and they put him in the middle of that defense, and it looks like it just just at the end, he got a little doink there by Sheehy, set 94. Doinks don't hurt as much as others.
I'll trust your medical expertise on that.
Thank you.
2nd and 6. Leidner on the keep. Weaving forward, has the first down, and Leidner all the way out to the 41-yard line. Leo Musso on the stop, and a good run of 12 for Leidner. This from the umpire cam.
Keep in mind, the umpire's right behind those linebackers, so he gets a pretty good view of what the heck is going on in the interior.
Boy, it must be the final game of the season. We're breaking out all the bells and whistles today. The umpire wearing the camera on the hat. From the 41 on first down, play action. Leidner with good protection, airing it down the sideline, and it's dropped right through the hands of Rashad Still, who made a good adjustment, Matt, on the ball, but couldn't pull it in.
He had his opportunity. The ball hung in the air and then allowed the defender to be able to come back. Is that Tyndall?
That's Tyndall there
25,
on the coverage.
Yeah. Tyndall has that opportunity there because he was beaten. Still had him to the top side. Better throw, better opportunity.
2nd down and 10. Opening possession of the ball game. Leidner with Smith behind him on 2nd down. And Leidner will keep again, and Leidner on the move with a lot of room. Leidner inside the 30 and out of bounds. They'll mark him at the 28. Leo Musso chasing him out, but Wisconsin biting on Smith and a ton of room.
And so we just said that the wild card will be the quarterback. It turns out to be the quarterback's feet. He's had great success. You talked about him in the same company as Antoine Randall. That's going to be something he's serving notice early, that you have to take care of that quarterback.
32 yards on the run for Leidner. First down with Carter in motion. Play action. Leidner with protection again. Carter on the edge with a blocker out in front. And Carter diving close to the first down. Ryan Conley on the stop as we check out the Auto Owners impact players.
Well, it's pretty simple. Rodney Smith's had a tremendous year. I mean, you've got to be able to handle him. Walt Tarsinger on 3rd down has just been pure money. And T.J. Watt, along with Vince Beagle on the other side, they have been really lights out, playing great defense. They're going to need their big play capability.
2nd down and a yard. Minnesota on the opening possession, moving the football. Rodney Smith trying to work inside. Chikwe Obasi on the stop. Very close to the first down, but I think he's short. It'll be 3rd and short now for Minnesota. So a 3rd down for the Gophers. Olive Sangapolu back from injury, manning the middle of that defensive line again for Wisconsin. A big lift for the Badgers to get the big man back in the middle. On 3rd down, Leidner on the sneak, and Leidner with the first. And again, the feet of Mitch Leidner, the difference on this opening drive.
When he's running, it just changes this whole offense. I mean, it gives them that 3rd piece. Just right now, they really haven't had a lot of diversity in that offense. It's just the pure running game, and then they struggle in the pass game, and then it's really a Wolotarski.
Tracy Claeys, 8 wins or more for the 3rd time in the last 4 seasons. First time since the early 1900s as T.J. Edwards back on the field for the Badgers. Here's Smith on first down. A hole, bounces off Musso and dives ahead to the 5-yard line. 10 yards for Rodney Smith. Dixon and Dooley save the touchdown.
Yeah, look, here's the big piece, is right inside, and this is just power football. Power football up inside, and I'll tell you, Smith is tough. He is really good. It's open space, but he is also equally as good when he has to lower his pads and use power. He's got enough of it.
1st and goal from the 5. Smith again with the carry. And driven back by Edwards, among others. Vince Beagle also in the mix there. And Sangapolu did a good job of clogging up the middle and really shutting down any running lane.
Yeah, that's really what they need him back in there for. When he's on his game, he's a beast on the inside. Every defense has to have a point to work off of. Well, when Tagliafilo's in there and he sets the point, that's a very solid defense.
Saw that big club on his right hand.
Yeah, you could use that to your advantage.
You would never do that.
No, why would I?
Second and goal at the 6-yard line. Leidner floating it for Wolotarski in the back of the end zone. Can't make the play. Dakota Dixon on the coverage.
Nicely done by Dixon, but he was beaten. A little bit better throw by Leidner. I'm not even going to say that. That's a great throw by Leidner. That's a great throw. Wolotarski rarely drops that. He did right there. Wolotarski's the guy. That's their go-to guy. He's the guy who understands leverage, understands how to beat coverage, and they're going to need him right now.
11th play of this opening drive. Third and goal. Leidner on the keep. Leidner not going to get there. TJ Edwards in there to make the stop once more. Vince Beagle also at the bottom of the pile, and it's 4th down.
Kevin, when we start talking about the multiplicity of this defense of Wisconsin, we're really talking about their linebackers. The linebacker play has just been terrific. And it's not just Beagle, it's not just Watt. There's been a multitude of guys who've been able to do that.
Emmett Carpenter on the field goal try of 21 yards. And Carpenter gives Minnesota the early 3-0 lead. Emmett Carpenter punches 3 on the board. Minnesota up early. The opening drive marches down the field, gets stopped inside the 5 by that Stern Badger defense, and settles for a field goal to start this one off 3-0. Mitch Leidner, though, the key Matt Millen on that drive, 49 yards rushing for Leidner on the opening possession.
So he has been a little up and down in the passing game, especially over the last 5 games. Heck, he threw his first touchdown pass just last week, but his feet on that last drive were exactly what that Minnesota offense needed.
Latrell Jamerson back deep awaiting the kickoff. And Jamerson on the short kickoff from the 4-yard line. Jamerson hole up the middle across the 25 and down shy of the 30-yard line. Tony Durr on the stop and a flag down during the return.
During the return, personal foul, illegal block below the waist, kicking team number 17, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, 1st down.
So Jacob Huff called for the penalty against the, you don't see that often against the kicking team.
What the heck were you blocking for? You're running down to make a tackle.
That's why you don't see it very often.
I'm a little confused on that one.
From the 43 now, Alex Hornibrook getting some excellent field position to start off. Under 100 passing yards in each of the last 4 games for Hornibrook, but it hasn't mattered. They're 4-0 in those games. His job is not necessarily to throw for a lot of yards. Bart Houston will come on. He's got the 4th highest passer rating among FBS quarterbacks in the last 5 games. We will see both of those guys early in this first quarter, first half perhaps, depending on how the timing goes.
By design.
On 1st down, Corey Clement shrugs off a tackle. Jonathan Celestine on the stop across the 45-yard line. The Valero key to the game with Wisconsin.
That's no surprise. This offense is completely built around this running game. Corey Clement, of course, is the lead dog in that thing. But they've got to keep this running game going, and it's going to be tough because this defensive front of Minnesota is strong, especially Richardson, 96. Keep an eye on him versus their inside 3. He can really mess things up. You see him right there over Ben Shaw, 66.
Had 2 sacks last week. Clement again. Not a lot of room to run. That line got blown up on that side to the 43, and it's 3rd down and 10 now for Wisconsin.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's Richardson on the inside. That guy is an anchor, and he plays tough inside. He's got good quickness. He gets off blocks well. Just watching the tape, I believe that this Minnesota defense felt very good about their matchups inside against this Wisconsin team.
Dario Gumbawale in at running back now on 3rd down and 10. Hornibrook with time to the sideline, open 1st down. George rushing with his 10th catch of the year. Antonio Chenault on the coverage, and a good throw from Hornibrook for the 1st down.
And nice protection. So Hornibrook gets the protection, and then he's an accurate guy. 2 things that you know about watching Alex Hornibrook. He's accurate with the football, and he's a cool cucumber back there in the pocket. Not a lot of things get to him or bother him, so he sees the field and reacts to it really well.
SPV in motion. Hornibrook sets it up, throws it short. Ogunbowale down to the 39-yard line. Pick up a 6 on the play.
Yeah, I like Ogunbowale. I think he's a next-level player. I think he's a guy whoever gets their hands on him is going to find a great role for him to be able to do good things. Catches the ball well. He's a good runner. He's a smart player. He's one you want on your team.
Converted from corner to running back after 1 game in 2014, and he's found a home there. 2nd down and 4. Clement up the middle, and Clement down to the 35-yard line with a 1st down. Hendrik Ekpe on the stop, and the auto owners impact players.
It's not hard to figure out. Corey Clement, you're seeing, got over 1,000 yards rushing. We already talked about Ogunbowale and what he does really well. And Richardson on the inside. That guy, Richardson's the key to that defense today. If he plays well, they'll play well.
7 sacks for that defense a week ago. 20 in the last 5 games for Minnesota. And Richardson a big part of that. On 1st down, Clement stumbled on the cut. He had a lane to the left and tripped up at the 34.
He tackled himself. Yeah, that one's going to go down to the turf monster. Corey Clement, you can really see as this season's gone on, he's gained confidence, and so has his team in him. They rely on him more and more. He gets stronger as games go on. It's fun to watch him. He and Ogunbowale, that's a good combination.
And they've worked in Bradrick Shaw a little bit as the season's gone on, and the freshman out of Birmingham's had some nice moments as well. Play action as Hornibrook sets up the inside screen, and not much running room there for Troy Fumagalli. And for more on Corey Clement, we check in with Lisa.
You talk to the Wisconsin coaching staff. He says that, you know, Corey Clement has been fun to be around the last month especially. And last year was hard for him, Paul Chris said, dealing with injuries, off-the-field issues. Chris said he almost thought he had to focus on being the next guy after Melvin Gordon. He's now erased that thought. From winter, spring, summer, fall, he's done a good job moving forward. And Chris says, you know, he's just kind of playing with a relaxed purpose now.
Certainly has helped this Wisconsin team win the West. 3rd and 8. Hornibrook, and it's dropped. Rob Wheelwright had a chance at it. Couldn't make the play. Jalen Myrick on the coverage.
Jalen Myrick, put your hands down because that was dropped completely. You had not good coverage. Or you were there, but this is inexcusable. That ball's right where it needs to be. At this level, you've got to make that catch. Much like in the end zone with Wolotarski. Those things you got to hold on to.
Anthony Lottie trying to pin Minnesota deep in their own end. Keontae Harden back deep. Hunting from the 32-yard line, and that one
a head scratcher.
A wobbler inside, and it'll be down at the 2. Despite the collision, the ball died amidst 3 Badgers. Leo Musso was down there. A big collision, but it doesn't matter. The ball dies right here.
Keep in mind, in college, it's where the ball is, not where the guys are.
Neither of them in the end zone. First quarter, the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe. Wisconsin knows they're in the Big Ten championship game. Still not sure who they're going to play. Minnesota trying to get win number 9 on the year, starting from their own 2-yard line. Leidner throwing from the end zone. Looking to the sideline, it is caught, and a 1st down and more for Drew Wolotarski, who's out to the 23-yard line. Leo Musso on the stop. Good, strong throw from Mitch Leidner, and Wolotarski with a catch in his 25th consecutive game.
This is the reason you like Wolotarski. He knows how to work at defenders. Working on Tyndall here. He gives him like he's going to clear out and get depth, and then comes back to the ball. Really well done, and a nice job of coming back to the football by Wolotarski.
Colton Beebe, the motion man. Smith the carry. Smith bounces off a tackler or two and is down to the 27-yard line. Well, we now know the scenario for Wisconsin. If Penn State wins, the Nittany Lions are in the Big Ten Championship. They're playing Michigan State this afternoon. Otherwise, Ohio State is in as the Buckeyes in double overtime have just beaten Michigan 30-27.
What a great game that was all the way around.
3-0 here. Minnesota on the opening possession, marching down the field thanks to the feet of Mitch Leidner. Stalled inside the 5 and kicked a short field goal. Now Leidner to the air once more, and that's deflected up front by Alec James. And it's 3rd down. So the college football playoff rankings, number 3 goes down in double overtime in the game. Ohio State seems to be in very good position for a potential playoff. And what'll be very interesting now is if Penn State beats Michigan State, they're down early 3-0. If Penn State wins that, has the chance to win a Big Ten championship, does Wisconsin or Penn State become a second Big Ten team that could get into the top 4?
There's a big possibility there.
3rd and 6 here for Minnesota.
You got to take care of Leidner's feet, his ability to run on this also.
Leidner airing it deep down the sideline, got a man open, and it's incomplete. Eric Carter was running down that far sideline. Lubern Figaro on the coverage.
Figaro was beat. Carter had him over the top. Just that ball, that was a nice throw. That was just good football all the way around. Let's look how it ends. Oh, no, that should have been caught. That should have been caught. Jeez, we have 3 major drops here in the first quarter.
Wolotarski had one in the back of the end zone that he couldn't pull in, and now Carter with the 2nd Minnesota drop. Short punt. Takes a huge hop in favor of the Badgers, who are going to have it near the midfield stripe. 4:19 to go in the first. A little more clarity for the Badgers on this situation, but still don't know who they'd be playing next week. Badgers, Matt, have excellent field position.
Yeah, and then field position in today's game is going to be big. And I also think whichever quarterback plays well is going to be big, because it looks like they came with their big boy pads on in this run game.
Hornibrook to the sideline, a little bit too tall for Jazz Peavy. Let's check in with Mike Hall in our BTN studios in Chicago for an update.
Kevin and Matt, you talked about it. Here's how it ended in Columbus. Curtis Samuel with the touchdown run. One play after a 4th and 1, which they went for and got by millimeters. Ohio State wins in 2 OT.
By millimeters. Mike Hall's been a long proponent of the metric system. It's nice to see him work that in.
Oh, I thought he said millimeters. I'm sorry. Those are extra. They're a little bigger. Yeah, of course.
On 2nd down, Bradrick Shaw, the freshman, gets his first carry, and he takes it to Minnesota's 48-yard line. Jack Lynn on the stop. So now 3rd and 6, Matt, for the Badgers.
Hornibrook has been on. Now, the last one sailed on him a little bit when he was running here to the left. But they've given him pretty good protection. If he gets his protection, looks like he's on here in this early going.
Peavy and Wheelwright are the receivers to the bottom of the screen. 3rd down for Wisconsin. Tough snap to handle. Hornibrook under pressure, and Hornibrook is sacked. They did not call him in the grasp as he got rid of that one. Shuby Timms was driving him down.
There's
They're
no foul
calling
for intentional
incomplete.
grounding. Number 81 was in the air. It's an incomplete pass.
Wow.
4th down.
I thought for sure he was on his way down, and so did Tracy Claeys.
So did Tracy Claeys. Let's see exactly, because there's the hit. He's on his way down. Whoa.
Boy.
That's a late one. Let's see if his keister's down. It's down when the ball's still in his hand. They better punt that as quickly as they can.
That's right. Shuby Timms should have his 2nd sack of the year. And the punt fielded by Harden at the 9. Makes the first man miss. Harden with a spin. And is going to be down near the 17-yard line. TJ Edwards on the tackle after the 44-yard punt and a 9-yard return. Let's check with Mike Pereira. Mike Pereira's hanging out in our studios watching this game. We may as well chat with him. Did you think Shuby Timms got his second sack there?
Yeah, I really do, but then you look at competitive aspect of the play and replays involved in that. Do you take the time to try to reverse this? You can say that he's down there, but it would have led to a punt anyways. And so a lot of those decisions being made in replay now. If it doesn't have a competitive aspect in the play, then you just leave it alone. And I'm sure that figured into why they didn't stop the play there. And by the way, I really think forward progress was stopped there, but that aspect of the play is not reviewable.
Got it, Mike. Thank you very much. I would argue, Matt, that in this game, the competitive aspect of this is field position. And that took about 10 yards of field position away, potentially, from Minnesota.
Not to mention, he don't get the incentive in his contract for another sack.
That would be a story.
That would be a story. That was an excellent job in rushing the passer and getting it.
Shannon Brooks, the running back, on 2nd and 5. Brooks with the carry, pops through and has the first down at the 28-yard line. And if Brooks is somehow able to keep his balance, oh my goodness, we're still calling a play.
Yeah, Brooksy looks like he's got a little fire going in him today. Last time we saw him, but he just barely gets tripped up on this thing. Watch him come barreling through there, right there. Looks like he may have got tripped up by his own guy.
That's what I thought. Maybe the foot of maybe the center, Tyler Moore. First down and 10. Leidner going to the air. It is caught by Still, and Rashad Still with a first down at the 44. Leo Musso on the tackle, and Minnesota looks crisp early in their offensive game plan.
I like what Jay Johnson, the offensive coordinator for Minnesota, is doing right now. He's involved Leidner's feet. He got them early. And then he sees right now he's got a hot hand, so he's letting him go. So between the run game, the pass game, he's mixing it up really well. Nice play call by Jay Johnson.
Cut by Brooks, got him a couple out near the 46-yard line, giving 2 before T.J. Edwards and Ryan Conley were there to bring him down. And we'll talk a lot about the linebackers today at Wisconsin.
Yeah, and one of the things you're not seeing is you're not seeing them trying to get to the edge. They're working the inside. And the reason is Watt on one side and Beagle on the other are outstanding edge players. And so they're attacking the middle. And so they're comfortable with that, and their inside 3 are doing right now, they're doing it pretty well.
2nd and 8 at the 46. Leidner, protection breaking down, throws into traffic. What a catch by Wolotarski, short of the first down, but a dangerous pass by Leidner, and Wolotarski somehow able to snare it.
Well, Edwards had a chance of picking that thing off. He went for it and missed it. Leidner had enough juice on it to be able to get there. See this from this umpire cam. Oh, nice read by Edwards. That was a nice read. Just couldn't quite get there. Oh, just outside the stretch, and then it sets up this 3rd and about 1.5 yards to 2.
On 3rd down, Brooks again, fighting, churning, short. First one there was Vince Beagle.
Yeah, gotta love Vince Beagle. If I were picking a team, and there are people in Detroit that say, please don't do that, I would still take Vince Beagle. Vince Beagle is a heck of a football player.
End of the quarter, Minnesota with a 3-0 lead. Quarter with a Minnesota punt, 4th and 1 at the 47-yard line of Wisconsin. And Ryan Santoso, in a game where field position will play a huge role, will try to give the Wisconsin Badgers poor field position. This punt by Santoso, though, on the fly into the end zone and out to the 20 comes the touchback. Well, I recommend Sports Light with Mike Hall. Wednesdays at 11 p.m. Eastern, you can enjoy the lighter side of Big Ten sports. Mike's got correspondents in New York and Los Angeles. They'll hang out with your favorite Big Ten athletes, coaches, alums, and fans. I have no idea what Mike Hall has cooked up for this week's Sports Light, but it'll likely be funny. If it's not, blame Mike Hall. Wednesday night, 11 Eastern on BTN. New quarterback in as expected. Third series for Wisconsin. In comes Bart Houston. We knew both would play. It looked like it was going to be 2 series for one, and expect to see Bart Houston for the next couple of series, and then they'll do it by field the rest of the way. Houston on first down, hands to Clement. And Corey Clement gets 3 to the 23-yard line. Nick Rawlis on the stop.
Anytime you're going to have any kind of success running against this Minnesota defense, you better handle those inside 3. Richardson's out, and you get Stettler inside. Richardson's on the sideline right now, but Stettler comes in, and they're tough. They're just tough in the interior. And why it's important against this game is the left guard position has not been real strong for this Wisconsin Badger team. They've struggled a little bit there.
Steffes in motion on second down. Houston on the roll, tosses to Peavy for the first, and Jazz Peavy across the 35. Minnesota trying to rip it out of his hands, but he's down at the 38-yard line. A 15-yard pickup. Celestine and Harden on the stop for Minnesota.
A couple things right there. Houston on the roll, nicely done. And also, Peavy does a nice job of coming back to the ball. Comes back to the ball, he created the separation, and Houston was able to take advantage of that.
You know, you don't normally see a dual quarterback system work well for teams, but Wisconsin and Paul Chryst have really done a good job of managing this to the strengths of each of these 2 quarterbacks.
And that's the key, the strength to both these guys. And they understand their role, and they're comfortable with their role.
On first down, Peavy will get the carry. Flag is down as Peavy gets some good yardage out near midfield before Celestine can track him down. That flag down, though, on the edge at the 35-yard line. Looks like this one's coming back. Or not.
Way to be
offside.
definitive.
Defense number 93. That penalty's decline, result of the play. First down.
Well, you judge it usually by how the offensive linemen reacted. They all started walking back.
They don't know. They're just linemen. Jackson is
all I know is all year listening and watching film with you, you say, watch the linemen. Their eyes won't lie. Those guards won't lie.
They don't.
And the guards started walking back. They lied.
That's because you're looking at them after the play.
Oh, that's the problem. First and 10 at midfield. Houston to the sideline, and the catch by Fumagalli, and out of bounds.
That's a nice throw. Nice throw. That's a small window. Fumagalli does a nice job of getting the foot down in bounds also. But everything on this thing is tight. That's a nice catch. The ball, coverage, everything converges at the same time. That's just a nice play all the way around.
Excellent camera work by our crew, too. Got that first foot in along the sidelines, and a good definitive look at that.
I think Fumagalli could be another wild card here in this game. They don't really have a big-time speed guy outside, but Fumagalli presents some mismatches inside.
Steffes in motion on first down. Corey Clement to the outside. And Clement taking on Jalen Myrick and bowls him over close to the first down.
Yeah, so what they're doing is they're playing a numbers game. Joe Rudolph is the offensive play caller along with Paul Chryst. And so what they're trying to do is they're giving you motions and movements, and they're saying who's adjusting and how they're adjusting. And then what you do is you try to manipulate that to get as few people to his side as possible. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. They just got one less defender and bounced it outside.
First series for Bart Houston, and the Badgers on the move. From the 28-yard line, first down. Steffes again in motion. Now Peavy the motion man. Clement the carry. Clement in trouble in the backfield, and a wonderful job by Nick Rawlis.
Now, see? He believed his eyes. Because those linemen, they lie. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute.
The linemen don't lie. The linemen don't lie, sorry. I was trying to give you an okey doke. Morales believed everything I told you, and that's why he made that big play.
Jay Sawville was telling us his mind works 1,000 miles a minute. He says it's his mind that gets him from A to B because he sees everything that's going on and processes it quickly. 2nd and 12 at the 30-yard line. Houston with backside pressure steps up. Houston finds his man on the sideline. It's caught by Quintez Cephas, and he's out of bounds with a 1st and goal at the 8.
That was an outstanding play by Bart Houston. First, he had the wherewithal in the pocket, and he's able to step up and buy some time. He's got to get pressure on the backside. Steps up, goes to his first on the top side, knows it's not there, comes back to his second, probably third read. That is just really well done by Bart Houston.
And Cephas just his 4th catch of the year, and a big one for the Badgers. Now the play clock is at 7. Wisconsin's going to have to hurry if they're going to get this one off in time. Play clock at 3. They do get it off in time. It's Clement with the carry, and Clement in the backfield is dropped. Give him a yard to the 7, where it'll be 2nd and goal. Jack Lynn on the stop.
They're not going to make much money down inside that interior. That Minnesota defensive front, those tackles inside, they're owning that territory. So you know as a linebacker that that's really not going to be a problem for you, which allows you to be able to flow a little quicker, knowing that your tackles are owning that ground.
Now Wisconsin's defense was able to get a stop in this territory against the Minnesota offense. Minnesota's defense trying to return the favor on 2nd and goal for the Badgers. Clement, nice cutback. Clement down inside the 2 to the 1.
That was all Corey Clement. Nice job running with his eyes. You show up on the right side, he cuts to the left. You see a defender, you go in back inside, and then run behind your pads at the end, which is what he does. That good spot. It's where the ball is. The knee hadn't touched. So now you have 3rd and goal.
At the 1-yard line.
This is usually Ingold territory.
Ingold's in the backfield, offset. Clement the running back. Now Ingold shifts in motion to the eye. On 3rd down, it's Ingold with the carry. Ingold fighting for the goal line, and Ingold is stopped short.
Ball's got to cross that plane.
Let's see if it did. The officials are saying it did not. They are marking him short. Alec Ingold with 1 rushing touchdown this year. Let's see if the ball got across here at the very end of this play.
Going. In the field, the runner was short of the goal line. Offside. Defense. Unless half the distance to the goal line. Repeat 3rd down.
I don't know about that. Let's see if a knee is down or it's on top of a mass of humanity. That's 6. That looks like it's 6 to me. Of course, I'm not the guy.
The ruling on the field is the runner was short of the goal line. The play's under further review.
Yeah, they're going to look at this, and I think Wisconsin's going to take the lead on Alec Ingold's 2nd touchdown of the year.
Keep in mind, you can see his body is on top of people. And right there, that looks like that thing breaks the plane. No other piece of his body.
And the crowd here
on
at
the
Camp
ground.
Randall just saw the replay. And Ingold says, yeah, I scored a touchdown.
Yep. There's a note written on his left bicep. Did you see that?
I did.
Yeah.
Mike Pereira is watching this one. Mike, I know you love the fact that our camera crew got such a great look at this. Are they going to see a touchdown when they look at it?
Well, what does Matt think? Because whatever Matt thinks, I agree with. But
I'm hungry.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
think
thinking, Mike.
You're going to be a busy man this weekend, but we see all body parts are up off the ground when he extends here. So, to me, since the knees are on bodies and the legs, I think if you look at it close enough, you can see that he does break the plane before anything touches the ground. I say that it's a touchdown. Defense offside is declined, and we'll have an extra point.
All right, Mike Pereira. We're keeping him busy early in our studios today. There's that ball right across the plane of the goal. It doesn't have to do anything other than break that plane. They're going to shift this in our truck. The magic of technology is shifting that.
After further review, the ball carrier reached the ball across the plane before he was down. It is a touchdown. Please reset the game clock to 9 minutes, 19 seconds. The offside penalty is declined. 9:19 on the clock, please.
I'll tell you what, it may be our final game of the season on BTN, but our camera crew is in mid-season form today. What a look to give for the replay booth to see the Alec Ingold touchdown. And the Badgers take the 6-3 lead.
What I like about it, if you're a Wisconsin fan, is they went right at the teeth of that defense, right inside. And Ingold came through.
What a drive for Mark Houston and the Wisconsin Badgers. The extra point is good. It is 7-3 Wisconsin. The battle for the Axe. Paul Chris says a long way to go. Alec Ingold says, I want to keep the Axe in Madison. Touchdown drive, 9:19 remaining in the first half. Alec Ingold with the touchdown. Here's the championship scenario for the Badgers. They'll play Penn State if the Nittany Lions get the win over Michigan State. Otherwise, they'll play Ohio State, winners in double overtime, in the game against Michigan earlier today. Michigan State with a 6-0 lead over Penn State, and that one in a short kickoff. Very short and high, fielded by Keontae Harden. And Harden breaking a tackle on Harden down the sideline. Keontae Harden caught from behind by Jamerson, who saves the touchdown.
Well, the whole thing was the kick, Kevin. You were right. It was short, and it was able to be run up on full speed as he catches this thing. He's just off to the races. Watch how he's able to field it. Going forward full speed right there. And then it opens. And that's just down that right sideline. A big-time play.
69-yard return and a momentum shifter. After the 10-play, 80-yard drive, Keontae Harden takes it back 69 yards, and the Gophers with it first down at the 13-yard line. Can Minnesota cash in on the opportunity? Leidner on the first play for Wolitarsky, touchdown!
Kevin, this is a different Mitch Leidner than we saw a couple weeks ago. He is on. Wolitarsky did a great job of leveraging the defender, keeping him to his side. And Leidner was dead on with that throw.
Only his third touchdown pass against an FBS opponent this year, and just his second since October 1st against Penn State. And a strike to Drew Wolitarsky, his 5th touchdown catch of the year.
Gotta like that call by Jay Johnson. That is just that's a great call.
Emmett Carpenter's extra point gives Minnesota the 10-7 lead. 69-yard kickoff return for Keontae Harden. And Mitch Leidner says, I only need one play. Drew Wolitarsky into the end zone for the 5th time. Wolitarsky celebrating with the big guys up front. State trailing, both of those teams trying to get themselves to the Big Ten championship game. Of course, Wisconsin already there. Penn State needs to win that game to get there, or Ohio State will be the representative from the East if Penn State cannot get the job done against Michigan State today. Wisconsin, we know, is already in, but they trail Minnesota 10-7. Huge kickoff return and a touchdown pass from Leidner to Wolitarsky, giving the Gophers the lead. Badgers will get it back moments after that 10-play, 80-yard drive concluded, and Jamerson with a little bobble is not going to return it. It'll be a touchback to the 25-yard line. Alongside Matt Millen, I'm Kevin Kugler. It's great to have you with us as we wrap up this Thanksgiving weekend and the regular season of college football. And this Wisconsin team trying to get themselves in really good position to make a run at one of those top 4 spots.
Yeah, and if they're going to do that, what they can't do is they can't get into kind of a shootout game. Now, neither of these teams are built for that kind of thing. But Wisconsin, they've kind of struggled putting a lot of points on the board. I will say this, though. I think Paul Chris and what he's done with his staff and his team has been tremendous. I think he's a Coach of the Year guy. I think he's one of those guys you have to consider really strongly. And we'll see how they respond to this last score.
Mark Houston on for his 2nd series. Led the Badgers on a 10-play, 80-yard drive a moment ago. And on first down, play action. Houston sets up the screen for Fumagalli. Fumagalli with room on the sideline. And the tight end rumbles his way out to the 45.
That's a really nicely called play. I like the design of that play.
And so he goes out to pick up the outside backer, the guy who's going to come as a rush. And then see how he does that, and he just falls back off. That is just really well designed. And Fumagalli picks up a big first down.
21 yards on that screen to Troy Fumagalli. Bradrick Shaw, the running back here for Wisconsin. Now they'll shift Austin Ramish into the backfield as well. Shaw bounces off a tackle and then falls at the 45. Loss of 1 on the play. It was Galen Elmore who got in there and knocked Shaw off balance, and Shaw couldn't keep his footing.
A lot of movement going on down inside of that defensive line of Minnesota. And so both these teams are similar with their offensive lines. They're big, physical guys. They like to have you line up in front of them and stay there. So when you give them movement, they're not the best at redirecting. And so they'll use that against them. Keep your eyes on Richardson right there over that left guard. He's been...
2nd and 11, Houston to the air, and the first incompletion for Bart Houston.
Yeah,
now 4 for 5 for 69 yards.
Not his fault. Fumagalli should have made that catch. He put it right on him. Houston has brought his A game. You're going to watch Richardson. See how they're giving the movement? His job right there is to get contained on the pass rush. So that's where he's going. But he's been owning that inside space. They've not had great success running inside against Minnesota.
3rd down and 11 at the 3rd. Four-man rush for Houston with time to the sideline through the fingertips of George Rushing, and incomplete. Would have been close to the first down, but instead Houston and the offense will leave the field, and the punt team comes on for the Badgers.
A little bit too much. Good protection. Had time to be able to throw it. Rushing ran a decent route. The ball was just a little bit too high for him.
2 returners back as Lottie gets set for his 3rd punt of the afternoon. Both Keontae Harden and Antonio Chenault back for the Gophers.
Nice punt.
Line drive punt, driving Chenault back to the 10-yard line. Chenault breaks 1 tackle, caught from behind. Chenault trying to turn it upfield. Lubert Figaro was there to make the stop, and the Gophers with the football after the 45-yard punt. Mitch Leidner coming back out to the field with a 10-7 lead. Running out, honored before the game, Leo Musso getting the chance to take a senior bow, as does Corey Clement for Wisconsin. Badgers sojourn Shelton out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Bart Houston led the Badgers on that touchdown drive here on Senior Day. 13 seniors, 3 senior managers leaving today for Wisconsin in their final home game. But they know they've got at least 1 more, and, well, at least 2 more games. A bowl game somewhere and a Big Ten championship game to play. And a huge hole up the middle for Brooks. And Shannon Brooks into the secondary, caught at the 35. Dixon and Shelton combine on the stop. An 18-yard burst up the middle for Brooks.
Yeah, nicely done on the right side of that offensive line. The center of the right guard did a really nice job of being able to poke that hole through the middle. And then Edwards was a little bit out of position, and nice game.
I like that camera that our umpire is wearing today, too. Kind of helps us keep tabs on what he's looking at, too. So far, it's all been the right stuff. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Leidner on the keep, somehow got positive yardage. I don't know how he got away from T.J. Watt in the backfield. Chikwe Obasi on the tackle after a pickup of a couple for Leidner.
Yeah, we've been talking about this. They really haven't been trying to test the edge, because Beagle on one side and Watt on the other. Watt's really turned in a great season. I mean, he's really defined himself as one of the better outside linebackers in college football. He's got good height, strength, speed, all the things you're looking for, but he also has big play capability.
What was it Justin Wilcox told us yesterday? He's extremely driven. We were both really surprised to find out somebody with the last name of Watt was extremely driven.
Yeah, how about it? There's a shot.
2nd and 8 at the 37-yard line. Brooks in some trouble in the backfield, and he's dropped for a loss. T.J. Edwards in there to make the tackle. And a third down.
It sets up this third down, and they've got to be able to get something. T.J. Edwards came on a blitz, and then he came untouched. And he found himself in the middle of that backfield and did what he had to do, sets up this third and long. You're going to watch him come. See, nobody touched him. Well, maybe a little touch.
A love tap.
Yeah. Now you got to get off the field. You got him in third and long. This is where Minnesota didn't want to be.
Pressure coming. Wagner in trouble, and he's sacked. Vince, Beagle, and T.J. Watt.
Yeah, this is exactly why they didn't want to be here. I want you to watch the top of your screen. They're going to bring them. Now, here you go, right up here. You got a bunch of them. You see Watt's going to come from the outside, Beagle to the inside. The back had to make a choice, and instead he fell down. Not a good choice.
That's a choice. Jazz Peavy backing up. Excellent punt from the 15-yard line. Peavy, a little two-step to get to the 21, where Wisconsin will start. Peyton Jordal on the stop. The pie chart for the Big Ten showing 4 teams in the top 8 of the college football playoff rankings. Now, will there still be 4 come this week's rankings? It'll depend on the outcomes of this game and that Penn State-Michigan State game. So I'm confident saying Michigan will still be in the that'll be interesting. Going into Ohio State, losing in double overtime with some calls that will be argued about. Yeah, I don't know how far they drop. On first down, Hornibrook back in at quarterback to the sideline. Coming back for it is Peavy, who makes a fine catch under duress at the 30-yard line to pick up 9.
Well, Harden had good coverage on him. He does a really nice job of driving back to that ball. Looks like there's a little extracurricular touching going on out there, but Peavy does a good job of wrestling that ball away.
Second down and 1 for the Badgers. And on second down, Clement the carry gets the first down. Out near the 32, Merrick Jackson with the tackle for Minnesota.
Both Rodney Smith and Corey Clement have that look that they're going to break one here today. They just have that look. Kevin, I got to tell you, this Minnesota team, we had them 2 weeks ago. They do not even look like the same team. This looks like a team that has explosiveness in them. Looks like they got a little bit of kick going back in that defense, and I think that goes back to Tracy Claeys. I think he's done a really good job with this football team.
That rivalry game brings out the best in a lot of people as Clement gets a yard, maybe 2, to the 33-yard line. It'll be second down, Rawless on the stop.
I think there's been a lot of good coaching jobs in the Big Ten this year. And I think, 2 of the guys are right here. I think Paul Chryst could be Coach of the Year, and I think Tracy Claeys has done a tremendous job to keep on doing and piggybacking off of what Jerry Kill got started. He's taken it to another good level.
Hornibrook to throw. Good protection. Now the pocket breaks down. Hornibrook chased. Throws incomplete. Looking for Rob Wheelwright. And for more on... hold on. We've got a collision over there on the sidelines, and Hornibrook is still down. Alex Hornibrook down and being kept down. Delata Baudier and Lynn were chasing, and now we've got a little more extracurricular activity. Hornibrook was rolling to that sideline, threw across his body, intended for Rob Wheelwright. He took a big pop as he got rid of it by Jack Lynn.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Now watch as he gets hit.
Officials timeout for an injured offensive player.
And his head hits the ground hard as he goes down on the sideline. He is up now.
The previous play is under further review.
I don't know what they would review here. He lowers his shoulder.
Nothing dirty about that hit at all.
And he was in the process of starting the hit as he was throwing. So it's not like he took a cheap shot on him. That just looked like a good hard football play.
Good sign that Hornibrook is up and walking over to the sideline right now after that big hit. Mike Pereira is, again, keeping an eye on this in our studios. Mike, what are they reviewing here?
Well, my only assumption would be is they could be reviewing to see if this is targeting, because you can't lead with the crown of your helmet into an opponent like this. But he turns his head to the side, leads with the shoulder to the chest. So I don't think you have any element of targeting here whatsoever. But that's the only thing we can assume that they're looking at.
Mike, thank you very much. Minnesota has had 7 targeting penalties this year, the most in FBS. And in fact, Duke McGee, one of their safeties, out in this first half of this game because of a targeting call last week. The 7 targeting ejections this year. The second highest is 3 for several teams in FBS.
This review is for a medical stoppage. There is no foul in the play. The player must leave the game for 1 play.
But speaking of the targeting, which this was for a medical stoppage, but you've got, count along with us, there's the 4th. Minnesota coaches will tell you they dispute about 3 of these. They were not looking at targeting on this one. That was our speculation, but was a medical stoppage. This was last week's targeting that Duke McGee was ejected for and was out for the first half of this game. So now Bart Houston back in at quarterback. 3rd down and 8 for the Badgers at the 33-yard line. And now we've got movement, and it'll be 3rd and 13.
Ball start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
So 3rd and 13 now for Bart Houston. Corey Clement will check out, and Dario Gumbawale will check back in. Third and 13.
They're going to play him in the zone.
Houston over the middle, and it's dropped by Jazz Peavy.
Excellent throw.
That hit him on the hands.
That's an excellent throw. Bart Houston, really well done. That's a great job, Houston. But look, this has been a game of multiple big-time drops by this Wisconsin team.
2 drops for Minnesota as well.
And you can't sustain things like that.
Wisconsin to punt it away with Lottie. From the 27-yard line. Little stutter step. Harden not able to find much running room this time. Good play by Watt. A 45-yard punt. Well, you want to see some more Gophers and Badgers? How about women's volleyball tonight? A primetime showdown with the 2nd-ranked Gophers hosting 3rd-ranked Wisconsin. Coverage at 8:30 Eastern. Presented by Tachikara on BTN and BTN to go. Let's check in downstairs with Lisa Byington.
Kevin, I'll tell you about that volleyball. Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin, the top 3 teams ranked in the country. They all are still in play to win at least a share of the title tonight with the final weekend of the regular season. Minnesota has a sellout on senior night. What more could you want than that?
How about Minnesota the other night knocking off Nebraska in 5? Gophers trying to knock off the Badgers in 4 quarters here. The first play is Rodney Smith, who gets a first down to the 43-yard line. We talked about the quarterback duo of the Badgers. How about this running back duo for the Gophers, Matt?
Well, we've seen these guys all year long, and what they're really benefiting from is nice blocking up front by this offensive line of Minnesota. They have brought their A game today. They're staying inside. Like I said, they haven't been trying to get to the edges. They're working the inside.
From the 43-yard line, first down, averaging nearly 6 yards per carry for Gophers. Leidner in some trouble. Leidner pumping, throwing, and what a catch by Wolotarski! He tipped it to himself, and a giant first down for the Gophers.
They had a chance to make a play, but the defenders, they missed it. Wolotarski just does a great job of the tip drill.
That's a BTN standout. We've got to give him the honors for that. Look at that. A catch along the sidelines, keeps his feet in, and then able to motor forward for more yardage.
Yeah, it looks like Musso's down, who they need. That's a good football player.
Musso back up again. So Musso looks to be okay as he makes his way to the sideline. Let's go downstairs to Lisa Byington.
Yeah, Alex Hornibrook, after several minutes being tended to in the tent by the medical staff, they're now walking him out back into the tunnel in the locker room. You know, there's only 2.5 minutes to play here in the half, but we'll definitely keep an eye on that, and I'll have a report coming out of the half.
All right, Lisa, thanks very much. Sojourn Shelton was the guy who collided with Leo Musso that created the discomfort for the senior safety, Musso.
Shelton looks like he went for the pick, missed it, while Tarski was able to get the old tip drill going, and
there goes Alex Hornibrook.
Back up the tunnel.
22-yard line for the Gophers, who have some momentum and the lead. Wozniak, the motion man. Leidner on the keep. And Leidner hit hard by Dakota Dixon as he gets to the 17-yard line. It's a long walk for Alex Hornibrook. Second and 6 after the big hit by Dakota Dixon on Leidner.
Number 14 on the defense must leave the game for one play. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute 58 seconds. 1:58, it'll start on my signal.
Dixon didn't want to leave. He's not too pleased with this, and here's the reason why. He gets a good hit on him. And they just thought he didn't look the same, which I like that rule.
Yeah,
that's a good rule. Garrett Dooley also comes in off the edge for Purdue.
Play action. Leidner under some heat, in trouble, and Leidner will throw it away. He had Alec James and T.J. Edwards breathing down his neck,
no foul
and just got rid of that one.
Was outside the pocket.
Coming up on our Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report,
Third
Dave and the
down.
gang will get you caught up the final week of the Big Ten season, at least the regular season, coming into a little more focus. We know Ohio State has a chance now at the Big Ten championship game. Of course, Penn State can stand in their way and get that berth out of the East if they beat Michigan State. Dave and the gang will have all the details and everything you need coming up at halftime. Third down and 5. Minnesota just 1 for 5 on third down.
Still have to watch Leidner's feet.
Leidner to the sideline, coming back for it is Still, who makes the catch, and it's first and goal, Gophers inside the 7.
You don't really have to when he's throwing like this. You know, a couple games ago when we had him against Nebraska, you know, I made the comment about which Mitch Leidner is going to show up, the good Mitch Leidner or the bad Mitch Leidner. And he's been inconsistent, but today he's been lights out. He has made great decisions. The ball's coming off fast. He's taken when he's used his eyes to take off and run a few times. This has been the Mitch Leidner show.
Paul Bunyan's axe up for grabs, and it's been a long time since the Gophers were able to claim it and bring it home. First and goal at the 7-yard line. The give to Smith, and Rodney Smith still fighting. Smith stacked up at the 3. Vince Beagle and T.J. Watt there in the combine to bring down Rodney Smith. Timeout with 59 seconds remaining as Minnesota uses the timeout. First half winding down. Rodney Smith running right to the umpire, but stopped short of the goal line.
They're winning inside.
Minnesota 10, Wisconsin 7. 59 seconds remaining in the first half, and a second and goal for the Gophers at the Badger 3.
Kevin, this offensive line, those inside 5, they're winning the battle against that Wisconsin defense.
Wolotarski, the motion man, on second down. Leidner on the keep, slips a tackle, and Leidner in for the touchdown. Garrett Dooley had a shot at him in the backfield, but Leidner would not be denied.
That's right. It's been the Mitch Leidner show. And he shows not only his ability with his strength in his run and his speed, but also his awareness. Watch this. That's a great read. And there's the shake, and there's the 6.
Tracy Clays liking what he sees from his Gophers in a very good first half.
Oh, they played lights out here in this first half.
226 yards of offense already for Minnesota against a defense that allows 292 on average per game. Mitch Leidner, the reason why the Gophers have a 10-point lead. Wins, they're going to the Big Ten championship game to take on Wisconsin, who's in regardless, thanks to yesterday when Iowa blasted Nebraska 40-10, eliminating Nebraska from contention to go to Indy. Ohio State needs a Penn State loss to punch their ticket to the Big Ten championship game, and the kickoff will go through the end zone and out to the 25 for the touchback with 53 seconds remaining in the first half. How about Mitch Leidner today, man?
Well, he's been the difference in this game. He's been able to beat him with his feet. He's made some big runs. And then when you've needed him to throw the ball, he has been dead on. Wolotarski's come up with some big catches, but it's been the Mitch Leidner show. You can see right here shaking a defender off and getting in the end zone. This is what Mitch Leidner, what they hoped Mitch Leidner was going to be all season long. But I'll tell you what, he's brought his A game today.
November 8th of 2003. That's the last time Minnesota claimed Paul Bunyan's axe. They've got a 10-point lead here as Ogunbowale on first down is stopped short of the line of scrimmage. Keontae Harden tracks him down at the 24, loss of 1 on the play. Second down.
The thing that's clear about this Minnesota defense is they have taken away that inside run game, Minnesota. And so you're going to have to try to get to the edges, or you're going to have to throw the football, and they've been dropping too many balls here in the first half to have any kind of consistency going.
Hornibrook still in the locker room. Bart Houston back in at quarterback again. Ogunbowale on second down, upended as he gets near the 29-yard line. Badgers are going to get the football to start the second half. Minnesota won the toss, and they elected to receive. So Wisconsin knows they're getting the football to start the second half, and that second half is going to be coming up in just a little bit. We will not see another play in the first half.
Kevin, what you've gotten out of the first half is a very confident Minnesota Gopher team. They know they can compete and beat this Wisconsin team.
And for Paul Christ's Badgers, who found out yesterday that they clinched their spot in the Big Ten championship game, need some work going their way in the second half as they make their way up the tunnel. This Badger team down by 10 at the break to the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Gophers have not beaten a team in any poll ranked in the top 5 since they won at Penn State in 1999, and they're just 3-34 against the top 25 since 2006. Long way to go in this one, but Minnesota on the road with the early 10-point lead. Touchdown by Ingold made Paul Chryst happy at that moment, but a lot of work from Leidner and Wolotarski has given the Gophers the halftime lead. Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Find your agent at AutoOwners.com. Get ready to start this second half with Minnesota on the road and in the lead, 17-7. Kevin Kugler alongside Matt Millen as we check in back with Lisa Byington.
Well, Kevin, the news on Wisconsin quarterback Alex Hornibrook is that he is out for the rest of the game. So that means Badgers are going to have to go with their senior on senior night here in Bart Houston. And you know Paul Chryst, he's not a rah-rah guy, so he didn't give any rah-rah speeches to Bart Houston. He said he's the guy we have to go with. Tracy Clay's pleased with his quarterback, said there's nothing different about Mitch Leidner tonight. Everything he's done here so far are things he know he can do. He's playing to the game, and if I do have a concern, it's with the protection of Mitch. We have to do a better job of that in the second half. Of note of that, I noticed that Mitch Leidner was trying to loosen up his left shoulder midway through the second quarter after taking that hard sack hit.
All right, Lise, thanks very much. That would be devastating. Leidner hopefully will be okay. Here's what knocked Alex Hornibrook from this game. The big hit by Jack Lynn, and then the big hit on the sideline for Hornibrook. So Alex Hornibrook is out the rest of the day, and if the Badgers are going to rally, it's going to be on the right arm of that man, Bart Houston, the senior, who comes into this one ready to rally his team down 10.
Yeah, and he's played well in this first half. If they got to rally, they got to catch the ball.
And the kickoff will go into the end zone, and the touchback will bring it out to the 25-yard line. First down and 10 for the Badgers at the 25.
Kevin, the other thing we said at the start of the game, the key for this Wisconsin team was to run the football. Well, they had 46 yards in the first half. That is not up to standard. So credit that Minnesota defense. Remember, we said the inside they've taken away. And Wisconsin's got to be able to find their groove in the run game.
Just 2.7 yards per carry, Matt. That's unheard of for a Wisconsin team that on the year has averaged over 200 yards on the ground per game. Unable to get it going in the first half. We'll see if Corey Clement and company can have a little bit of success here in the second. On first down, Clement with the carry. And Corey Clement, good start, gets 5 to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that's what they want to be able to do. You got to win on first down, get to third and manageable. They're happy with that. But they were behind the sticks too many times in the first half, and then like we saw and documented, they dropped some balls that weren't allowed to sustain drives. So they've got to get that part handled.
On second down and 5. Bart Houston, the quarterback the rest of the way for the Badgers. Clement again, and Clement a yard shy of the first down. But this is more what Wisconsin and Paul Chryst want to do, Matt. 5, 4, then all of a sudden you have a 3rd and 1 instead of 3rd and 6 or greater.
Yeah, and so, and now if you're the Minnesota football team, you say, look, you get 5 and 4, we get one chance to stop them here. And so that's what they've got to do. And so they've got to be able to hold up on that inside and then be strong on the edge.
3rd and 1. High formation with Ramish, the fullback. And it's Ramish who gets the carry and the first down. And Austin Ramish, just his 15th carry of the year.
Yeah, but anytime you give a short yardage to a Ramish, you know you're getting something good. I mean, just the name speaks to it. We're going to get that short yardage. I like that name. I like him as a football player. Good toughness. It kind of goes with exactly what Ramish is.
See, from Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin, he led the state of Wisconsin in rushing. His junior year in high school had over 2,200 yards on the ground. On first down, play action for Houston. To the sideline and pulled in by Troy Fumagalli.
Wow, that's a great catch by Fumagalli. Because he was really well covered by Harden. Harden was right all over him. Watch this, a fight for the football. Who's got the strongest hands? Harden trying to strip it, and his fingertips went nicely done by Fumagalli. Said at the start of this game that Fumagalli could be one of those wild card guys. They're going to need more of that here in the second half if they're going to get back on their horse.
First down for the 48, 4 catches for Fumagalli for 46 yards. And on first down, Clement the carry. And lunging out to midfield with Jack Lynn wrapped around him. 2nd and 8.
Rallis came, and he read it again. Beating him with his brain, so he saw that. Corey Clement cut back to the right side. I like this Rallis kid. I like the guys who think things through and eliminate things from their brain and then work, you know, toward what shows. That's really well done by Rallis.
How do you find that line between thinking things through and thinking too much that it slows you down a little bit?
That happens sometimes, but if you read your keys and you've done your homework, you get through that list pretty quickly.
2nd and 8 at midfield. Houston, nobody open, in some trouble, gets away. But Houston on the run, and Houston with a first down.
That's all Bart Houston. Good coverage on the outside, forcing to pull it down. And then he's able to get away from a would-be sacker right there.
They let him go down.
The rest was all feet. That's exactly what Leidner did in the first half that ignited his team.
So from the 38 of Minnesota, Bart Houston getting this Wisconsin offense going on the opening drive of the second half. Clement the carry. Little stutter step and down to the 35-yard line. Corey Clement with 3. Today's United States Marine Corps leader of the game is Bart Houston. He's a 3-time academic All-Big Ten honoree, graduated with a degree in kinesiology. He's going to have to lead this team the rest of the way with Alex Hornibrook injured and out for the remainder of the game. And speaking of injury, there's an injured Minnesota Golden Gopher. It's Galen Elmore, the defensive end, who is still down near the 38-yard line. while they tend to Galen Elmore. We'll step aside with Minnesota up 10. Great settings in the Big Ten Conference. You fly into Madison, all you see is water, and then Madison's surrounding it. It's a wonderful scene, and not such a great scene for Minnesota fans to see Galen Elmore on the sideline right now. Looked like they were looking at his shoulder as he laid on the field, Matt.
It looks like Dietz in the guard kind of, as he drove him to the ground, kind of got in an awkward position with that shoulder.
2nd and 7 for the Badgers, trailing by 10, but on the move at the Minnesota 35-yard line. Mark Houston on the roll. Throws it short. PD with a catch. Got a first down out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Picks up 13 before Keontae Harden can get him. And a first down for the Badgers. They're in the Big Ten championship game. We know that. Penn State is their opponent if Penn State beats Michigan State. Otherwise, it'll be the Buckeyes of Ohio State. At halftime, Michigan State leads Penn State 12-10 in that game. So the Buckeyes right now, if that's how it were to end, obviously a long way to go in that, but if that's how it were to end, it would be the Buckeyes against Wisconsin in the championship game.
Their concern right now is just that Gopher defense.
From the 22, off play action. Houston looking for the end zone. Looking for Fumagalli, and he can't get it to him. Coverage by Winfield, and it's 2nd down.
Antoine Winfield's been a really, really good addition to this defense. He really has very good cover skills, and he has good instincts. Of course, his dad played for a long time. Now, this ball just a little bit too much for Fumagalli, but the coverage was right there by Winfield. Just a freshman. Good player.
Didn't play much in the first couple of games. Now he's in there for every single play. And, you know, you talk with Jay Sawville, and he says the most amazing thing about Winfield, there's no freshman wall with this kid. He just continues to play at a high level. 2nd and 10 at the 22. Ogunbowale dropped in the backfield. Hendrick Ekpe with the penetration to get there first, helped out by Shuby Timms.
Yeah, well, they came with a blitz, and they also accompanied that blitz with a slant to the inside. See how they're all slanting down to the right? That's exactly what got them and beat the blockers to the edge, and they were able to set up this 3rd and long. So this 3rd down long now has to go to Houston. Bart Houston's been on the money, and his speed have provided him a little bit of ability to buy some time.
Remember, Andrew Endicott, erratic as a kicker for Wisconsin. Field goal is iffy. 3rd and 14 at the 26. Houston to the sideline with the catch.
Boy, he's on.
Jazz Peavy with the grab. Now, he's short of the first down, but what it does is put you into much more comfortable field goal range if you choose it for Andrew Endicott, who will jog on now.
Yeah. It was interesting talking to Paul Chryst about his kicker. How do you feel about it? I love him. Love him. He's our guy. That's our guy. That's what we got. That's what we're going with. And that's the attitude that you have to have.
Well, he'd never kicked a field goal or an extra point until this year. You see the numbers. This is a 33-yard try for Andrew Endicott. On senior day, a senior kicker trying to provide a spark. And Endicott's kick is up. Did it sneak in? It did.
Oh, it did.
It just snuck in around that right upright.
I thought he missed it.
If he'd have been 5 yards further back, it would have continued on that trajectory and probably missed.
Timeout.
But that one sneaks in, and Endicott from 33 yards out, able to get this one just tucked inside that right upright. Didn't make it by much, but it counts as 3 just the same. 17-10 Minnesota. Paul Chryst creeping closer to the 33-yard field goal from Andrew Endicott, making it 17-10.
Yeah, I want you to watch this official right down here. So his job is to view this all the way through in case it goes on top of the bar, which is exactly what it does. It's not, so his job is to see and judge if it went inside as it protrudes all the way through. Then he'll look to the other official. They'll give a nod to each other if it's good, and then the arms go up. Well officiated.
17-10 lead and the kickoff. Keontae Harden will stay in the end zone. A touchback to the 25-yard line. For more on Endicott, let's check in with Lisa Byington.
He admitted to me in the pregame that going in that direction, kicking field goals in that direction is more challenging for him in terms of finding a target point. He says he aims for the W on the building, but going towards that side, there are fewer things to aim at, and he compared kicking to finding the line in putting like golf. He said it's much easier when I go the opposite direction. There are many more things on that scoreboard to target. Oh, by the way, he's got a 2 handicap in golf.
Oh, well, that's just great. A 2 handicap in golf.
Is that good?
That's really good, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's really good. You would not have a 2 handicap.
I hit the windmill every time.
First down at the 25. Leidner off play action for the sideline, and the catch by Rashad Still, and a first down. Sojourn Shelton on the coverage.
Now that model right there, that model wide receiver comes with ABS. You see how he just put the brakes on and stopped and turned around? That is really well done. That's a really well done job by Still.
On really good work by his left foot, because as it was coming down behind him, he somehow was able to tap it inbounds from the 47 on first down, and to give up the middle to Rodney Smith, and Smith into Wisconsin territory at the 49. Songapolu on the stop for Wisconsin.
I'll tell you, this Rodney Smith has been running tough inside, and so they haven't really tested the edges because of Beagle on one side, Watt on the other. So they've been running inside, and they've been having success, and that's credit to this offensive line and also Rodney Smith.
8 carries, 36 yards for Smith from the 49. Play fake again. Songapolu with the sack.
Told you to use that club. Songapolu with a rare sack inside, and they just don't block him. They just don't block him. He takes advantage of it. Look at that big old club. How'd you like to be in front of that thing? Holy smokes.
I will decline. Only the 11th time Minnesota's been sacked this season. They came in allowing just 9 sacks and 19 straight games allowing 2 or less. Wisconsin's got 2 right now. Leidner on 3rd and 12, wide of Carter on a flag. Sojourn Shelton on the coverage again.
I got thrown by that side judge up high. His job is that right there. He's the #1 receiver to the outside. He's eyeballing the whole way. Sojourn Shelton not pleased with that call.
Pass interference. Defense number 9. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
He meant 8.
Sojourn Shelton is the guilty party there, even though Titus Booker got blamed for it.
Yeah, we don't see what happened before that, but at the end of it, it doesn't look like it's much of anything.
There's a few folks in Camp Randall just watched it on the monitors here at the stadium. They might agree with that assessment.
So his left hand was underneath on the stomach and kind of got a little bit of that jersey, and that's what they're going to call.
So a first down.
Oh, he's got him.
Smith out of the backfield, and that one is caught by Smith. Somehow Smith ripped it away from Leo Musso and gets the first down.
Yeah, because it was a mismatch right from the start. They were going to go in that wheel route right up the right sideline, and Smith had him beaten right away. And so he's got the backer beaten now. It's got to be Musso who comes to save the day, and it went through his hands, and Smith held on to it, had his hand underneath. That's a good catch.
And now Smith with the carry, and Smith stacked up at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Now hold on, there may have been a stoppage before that play.
Well, if they check to see it, I think it's a catch. Garrett Dooley he was beaten by the coverage. Musso came over the top.
They may have gotten a buzz down before the play stopped to check that catch. There's no flag that we can see, but there was a stoppage prior to that play, I believe. That's the discussion right now. See what the official word is on why this stopped.
Prior to the previous play being snapped, plays under further review.
Not the play that was just run, the run up the middle, but we're talking about the catch by Rodney Smith. They got buzzed from the booth upstairs that they wanted to continue to look at that catch to make sure Rodney Smith secured it through the ground.
Yeah, it was if his hand was underneath, which is why I said that. because it looks like it may have bobbled, but he has his hand underneath for control. Right there. See how he had it cradled? I think that's a good catch. I think you can see it a little bit better here. Watch as he falls to the ground. He'll have his right hand underneath the ball.
That ball doesn't move.
And controls it. I think that's a great effort and a great catch.
Another look. This replay review may end up benefiting Minnesota in more ways than one, confirming the catch if they do that. And it takes away what was a run of nothing on first down, so they're back at 1st and 10.
Lost in all that, and just for football, people who love good football, Musso made a great effort coming from the middle of the field to get to this thing, get his hands on it, but you can see the catch right there. His hand is underneath. He has control of the football. That's a catch.
And a fine one at that by Rodney Smith. The
other part of that is Mitch Leidner knew what he had right away. As soon as he had the matchup with Dooley, that's a matchup he's going to win. So he went to it right away. Musso made a great catch coming over.
Now we do have the official with the card out writing things down. Is this going to get reversed?
Well,
a lot of times we see that
after
official with the
review,
card.
The ruling on the field of a catch is confirmed.
Yeah.
It'll be 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 7 minutes, 15 seconds. It will start on my signal.
So no overturn, and it's 1st and 10.
That's a good call.
Paul Chris not happy about it, as you saw, but benefit of replay and the angles we saw, Rodney Smith did a good job with that one.
I think that's a great football play all the way around. I think Leidner was on it from the start. I think Musso had a great effort on it, and in the catch by Smith.
Now they need to move this ball back.
Yeah.
Because it's at the 17-yard line. That's where the mark is. At least where the sticks are right now. Now they're going to change the sticks. So it's 1st and 10.
There you go.
They're moving the sticks now. They've respotted it to the 15, and that's when Minnesota will start. On 1st down. And the give to Smith goes nowhere. He tumbles forward, and maybe he'll get credit for a yard through the tackle of Garrett Rand, 2nd down.
He's got good balance. Rodney Smith has ability to make you miss in the hole. He's got very good balance. He can run with power. Just saw, he's got good hands in the pass game. It's complete back. I would say in the Big Ten, this is probably the 2nd best back in the conference, right behind Saquon Barkley out of Penn State.
2nd and 9 at the 14. Leidner, protection to the end zone, and that's incomplete.
And a good non-call by the official in the back.
Tyndall was on the coverage of Wolotarski.
Yeah, a little bit of jostling going on. It came in and out of that break, but I think Tyndall was all over the coverage. It sets up this 3rd down. 3rd down again is a down that Wolotarski has owned for this Minnesota Gopher team. So keep your eyes on Wolotarski wherever he's at. He's been their guy for the conversions.
2 for 6 on 3rd down tonight, and a big 3rd and 9 from the Wisconsin 14.
Have to account for Leidner's feet also.
Leidner to the air, open, intercepting. Musso came over and shut it down. Still was open for the moment, and then Musso with the pick.
Great read by Musso.
Ruling on the field is an interception and a touchback. 1st down, Wisconsin.
I got to tell you, he probably heard our producer Bart Fox in my ear saying, "I feel a pick coming right now."
The clock is continuing to run. They had to stop this one to get the clock to stop. And now they're going to have to solve this clock situation. 5th interception of the year for Leo Musso, 8th in his career.
But what he was able to do, though, is read the eyes of Mitch Leidner. Look how he locks on him. See, Musso never gets off of it.
Timeout.
Never gets off of it. He read the quarterback's eyes right from the start and ran the route for him.
But Leo Musso just takes a touchdown away with a pick in the end zone.
And just reading his keys. So his keys are right back in here to the quarterback. And he's also starting to roll this way. They're going to have a coverage back underneath over here. But Musso sees it right away and gets to the high point right away. This never had a chance. Musso was on it, ran the route for him. Really well done.
Leidner saw still for a moment. Musso got over there, and well, now Wisconsin will start at the 20-yard line, down a touchdown. Bart Houston on for the rest of the game. Alex Hornibrook is injured, and Corey Clement to the 31-yard line as we check in with our BTN studios in Chicago. Mike Hall's got an update.
Kev, an update on Michigan State and Penn State. This is Chris Godwin with the touchdown catch. Remember, if Penn State wins this game, they are the Big Ten East champs and are going to Indy next week. They're up by 5 halfway through the third.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. One of these times we'll go to Mike Hall in our BTN studios. He'll just give us an update on Sports Light, and that'll be it. First and 10 at the 31-yard line. Clement again.
Great field.
And Clement down after a yard to the 32.
I didn't see who that was, but that was a great fill off that edge to turn everything back in. It didn't look like he made the tackle, but he made the play. Either the strong safety or the backer to that side really came up and blew things up. Yeah, if I'm the umpire, I have no idea who's doing what in there.
It's 2nd and 9 at the 32. Clement again. And Clement just got tripped up by Wallace as he veered left. Stopped just shy of the 36-yard line.
Yeah, Rollis, if he doesn't get that, there's a lot of green outside. And that's at least a first down, and who knows what after that. So nicely played by Rollis, sets up this 3rd and 5.
7 tackles today for Rollis.
He's played well.
3rd down and 5 now for Bart Houston and Wisconsin. Ogunbowale in at running back. They're 3 for 8 on 3rd today. Houston over the middle. And a huge hit. Rob Wheelwright trying to turn it upfield, and Demarius Travis would have none of it. Short of the first down.
That is just a great job of playing safety. This is the umpire stuff on the inside. You can see it coming inside out, but the safety play, that's why they're in a cover 2. That 2 deep allows them to see the whole thing develop, and when there's enough room in between, you just go run up and make that tackle. That's really well done.
Keontae Harden back deep awaiting the Lottie punt. Another good punt, fair catch called for by Harden and made near the 17-yard line, where it'll be first down for Minnesota. Next Saturday, it's a full day of hoops. It all starts at 1 Eastern as the Badgers take on Oklahoma, followed by the Wildcats hosting DePaul. Then it's Oklahoma State, Maryland with the nightcap. Coverage will start at 1 Eastern. That's next Saturday, presented by April Air on BTN and BTN to go. Open it up next weekend, and of course we'll have a full day of Big Ten championship coverage surrounding that. Wisconsin will be in that Big Ten championship game. We know that. Who will they play? Either Penn State or Ohio State. If Penn State wins, it's a Badgers and Nittany Lions matchup in Indy. Minnesota, though, leading right now. First down from the 17-yard line. And the give to Brooks, and Shannon Brooks pops through an opening and stumbles for the first down. Dakota Dixon got him on his ankles. Going back to you really want to be an umpire here, guys? I mean, kids, do you want this in your life?
Oh, you know Beagle was doing that just because he knows it's on television. Okay, so look, you got right now, the strength of this Wisconsin team is their defense, and it has to show up right here. It's got to get this team, get this offense off the field.
From the 27 on first down. Brooks once more. And Brooks not finding the same running room. Connor Sheehy, the reason why, stops him at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, Sheehy and Vince Beagle off the edge. Sheehy solid inside with Songapula, but this is the guy that's the energy. He's the Energizer Bunny for that whole defense, is right there, Vince Beagle. Excellent player, Farmer. I like his style.
2nd and 9 at the 28. Leidner under pressure, steps away, now in some trouble again, gets away. Leidner still on the run. Leidner finding running room and close to the first down at the 36. TJ Edwards finally caught him. Mitch Leidner looked like he was trying to get through traffic on foot in New York City, and he dodged and ducked his way close to the first.
It's a great effort by Leidner to set up this 3rd and short. I mean, there's a bunch of missed tackles in there, but there's also great effort by Leidner and picking his way through.
3rd and 1 after the scramble by Leidner.
They've had success inside.
Leidner will sneak, and Leidner gets close and looks like he's got it.
Yeah, he's got
the 38.
He's got it. They're already moving him.
TJ Watt with the tackle, and Leidner keeps the drive going.
This is the best I've seen Mitch Leidner play all season. Now, I've only seen them 3 times live, but I've watched a bunch of tape on him. This is the best Mitch Leidner I've seen.
In control, consistent today. He's got his team on top in the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe. And it's been since 2003 that Minnesota won it. Off play action, Leidner hit as he throws, and that's going to be a flag. No, incomplete.
They tripped up. That could be a good non-call.
They started to reach for the flag and then waved it off. Tyndall on the coverage of Wolotarski.
Yeah, but you see the line judge on the side. He's saying that it was over his head, couldn't be caught. So you see that they waved their hand over their head, meaning this couldn't have been caught anyway. So their feet got tangled up anyway.
The pass was uncatchable. There was no foul.
You see Tyndall with a little bit of a takedown there, and the line judge that's running into the picture, he was starting to reach for his flag and then had himself talked out of it on 2nd down. Nice dodge by Brooks against initial contact, but Brooks is going to be fortunate to get just one. TJ Edwards with the tackle, and now 3rd down.
Yeah, Edwards made the tackle, but the play was made upfield that a defensive lineman came through. I think it was Sheehy or Obasa, I couldn't tell. But they broke through and sets up this 3rd and long.
On 3rd down, Leidner airing it for Still down the sideline, and he can't pull it in. Jamerson on the coverage, and it's 4th down.
This is what a defense is supposed to do. They're supposed to play tight, tough defense and get the ball back to their offense. So with the lights shining from the crowd, they came through.
All the cell phone lights showed up before that play. Ryan Santoso will punt this one away. Short punt. Takes a good Minnesota roll, fielded at the 21-yard line by Peavy, and Peavy stopped near the 24. BTN's original series, The Journey, it's back and it's all new on Tuesday night. The show with an unprecedented look inside the Big Ten season returns Tuesday night at 11 Eastern. You can always catch exclusive show content anytime with BTN to go. Make sure you update that app so you can check out all that content there from The Journey and so many other things. As we get back to work, late 3rd quarter, Wisconsin down a touchdown. Bradrick Shaw, the running back. Mark Houston, the quarterback. Alex Hornibrook out for the rest of the game. Play action. Houston sets up the screen, and it's dropped by Fumagalli. We'll drop in on Mike Hall in our BTN studios.
All right, guys, another update from Happy Valley. Penn State and MSU. Look at Trace McSorley in trouble, and instead of running, he throws to Mike Gesicki, 45 yards for the score, breaking the Penn State single-season tight end receiving yard record and stretching their lead to 12 points.
And Penn State, if they win that game, they are in the Big Ten championship game against Wisconsin.
Who would have ever believed it? The catalyst for that group is Trace McSorley.
And after September, when they got blasted by Michigan, to come back and get to this point, remarkable. 2nd down. Houston on the keep, and he's getting buried in the backfield by Blake Cashman. Also there, Julian Huff.
Yeah, he should have seen that at the start. Now, doesn't look like he has much freedom at the line of scrimmage there with this call, because they showed this thing early. And then he just run right past Dietzen. I mean, Dietzen's, I don't even know what he's doing there. Or Dieter, rather, 63.
Back at the 18-yard line now.
Good call.
Let's go for defense, driving Wisconsin back. 6 tackles for loss today, and it's 3rd down and 15. Back at the 18-yard line. Houston under pressure again, and he's sacked. Cashman and Coughlin meet at the quarterback. And for Cashman, who had 2 sacks last week, back-to-back plays in the backfield to close the 3rd quarter.
That is the end.
We head to the 4th. An upset brewing, and an axe maybe changing hands. Advantage over Wisconsin on today's installment of Dr. Pepper Traditions of the Game. We talk about a certain House of Pain song that, well, it brings the Camp Randall crowd to its feet at the end of the 3rd quarter. October 10th, 1998 is when it started. The marketing department was trying to help the anemic Badger offense that day. It has become one of the great college game day rituals. Jump around, sponsored by Dr. Pepper. It's a tradition, and it's time to jump in Madison. They instituted it on October 10th of 1998 to try to jumpstart the Badger offense that day. Perhaps it will have the same effect in this final regular season game. Offense stymied on their last possession, and they'll have to punt it away on 4th and 23. Chenault and Harding waiting at midfield for the punt of Anthony Lottie.
Returnable.
Chenault from the 47. And Chenault not going anywhere. Excellent play by T.J. Watt as he got downfield and makes the tackle. Watt's everywhere. 37-yard punt. Minnesota with good field position as we go to Lisa Byington.
Well, Kevin, I spoke to Jerry Kill this morning, and he said if Tracy Claeys could probably sign a lifetime contract if he wins tonight. That's how much this would mean to Minnesota. Coach Kill is watching tonight. He said he was going to hustle after the Kansas State game. Of course, he's working in the athletic administration at Kansas State, but he said, I am proud as heck of what Tracy Claeys has done this year. I can't say enough about putting this team in a spot to win 9 games this season.
Jerry Kill, as Lisa mentioned, to K-State. K-State beating Kansas today. They get Bill Snyder an ice bath after that one. The Gatorade bucket came out. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. And the handoff over the left side to Rodney Smith, who gets a yard, and that's all. Sheehy and Dixon stopping that Rodney Smith effort, and it's 2nd down.
Okay, if I'm the play caller for Minnesota, I want to get Mitch Leidner's feet back into the equation. In the first half, he took off and ran on a couple things. Some were designed, some weren't. But those design runs really, I think it kind of got this defense a little off kilter a little bit. Right now, they can't get to the edge. They're trying to stay inside. They've had some success, but Leidner's feet, I think, would be a big part.
2nd and 9. That's BB in motion. Play action. Leidner with pressure coming, and he's hit and sacked. T.J. Watt, who had the play on special teams a moment ago, with the sack, the 3rd time today that Minnesota has been sacked, and the 1st time in 20 games they've allowed more than 2 sacks.
Yeah, you're going to watch him up top here. He's just going to beat this tackle. It's clean. Going to get to the top side. Guard pulls out, and it was, he got overextended.
Watch us use his momentum against him and then hunt it down. Leidner sets up this third down. Big third down for this Wisconsin defense.
1.5 sacks today for T.J. Watt, 9.5 on the year. 3rd and 15, Leidner to the sideline, intercepted. Picked off by Shelton. Sojourn Shelton looking for a touchdown. Shelton going to be caught by Leidner and then tossed to the sideline inside the 20.
They trusted their defense, and the defense answered. Mitch Leidner throwing to his right side, and it was just a busting. They weren't on the same page. Shelton was reading the whole thing. Carter just kept on going. It looked like it was going to either try to run a comeback or something right at the sticks. But Shelton was more aware, and the result is 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line.
And Sojourn Shelton's 3rd interception of the year, none bigger. As Wisconsin with a chance to tie this one up. Here's Clement. Corey Clement caught from behind by Nick Rawless, who's been everywhere today. 1 yard on the play.
Yes, he has. Celestine right there also. But Nick Rawless has been, he's been the man inside. He has really had really good reads, and he's been solid the whole time. Hasn't given any ground. Good performance here today. That had the potential for a big play.
Ingold in motion on 2nd down. Houston over the middle. Wheelwright with the grab, and he's down inside the 5 near the 2. 1st and goal. Wisconsin.
That's a good throw by Bart Houston. Watch the location. Here's the 1st on the inside, and the ball's going to come zipping right past you. But see the location. It was a small window. Rawls had made his drop. Safety's over the top. You've got to put that in a small spot.
Timeout,
and he does
for
that.
an injured offensive player.
You see Wheelwright takes this hit at the end. Celestine and Myrick kind of collide at Wheelwright, and as he tried to make his way to the sideline, he could not, and he goes down. So Wheelwright, native of Columbus, Ohio, out of Walnut Ridge High School, is going to be helped now to the sidelines after that catch. And you see the little hitch in his giddy up starting, and down he goes. Big catch over the middle for Wheelwright, and it's 1st and goal for the Badgers. The battle for Paul Bunyan's axe really ramping up here in Madison.
So they haven't had success running on the inside against Richardson and Ekpe and company. So let's see if they don't try to get to an edge.
There's Alex Hornibrook on the sidelines. He's done for the day, injured in the 1st half. 1st and goal. Houston. Clement. Close. Touchdown.
That's just pure power. Off the left edge. They stayed away from the middle. They just tried to get to the edge. Now watch the power. He's still up. He's on top of a body, and so nothing of his touches. It doesn't appear. He's going and keeps his legs moving. Watch how he's kind of
on the field, a touchdown.
See if his rear end hits. It's hard to tell there.
Yep.
Because he wasn't. He was still driving backwards, and he was on top of a body when it looked like his rear might hit. Let's see if we got something from this angle. Still up. No. That's a good effort. He's body surfing on top of bodies.
I was going to say, it looks like Matt Millen at a Pink concert, crowd surfing his way into the end zone.
What the heck is that?
You're not going to see Pink?
What the heck is Pink?
Pink's a thing.
Yeah.
No. Excellent strength by Clement.
Yeah, good hit. Watch how he body surfs on top of these defenders and offensive help. It's just slide right in. Really good job. We want the rump. But there's no rump there. There's no rump.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown is confirmed.
Good call. Good officiating.
And great work, again, by our camera crew. The angles we had of that, terrific.
Great. Even if pink is nothing more than a color. What is pink?
Andrew Endicott on for the extra point.
Is that?
It's real.
What? I know it's a real what?
It's Singer as the kick is up, and the kick is good. 17 all, brand new ball game for Paul Bunyan's Axe. The interception, the key in this one. As Sojourn Shelton starts it, Corey Clement finishes it, and Paul Chris knows we got a brand new game. Talk about in these rankings, with Michigan losing today to Ohio State, that left Penn State in control of their own destiny, and they appear to be taking advantage of that opportunity, leading Michigan State 31-12. If they win, they're in the Big Ten championship game against Wisconsin, who's now tied here with Minnesota. And the kickoff will go into the end zone for the touchback out to the 25 come the Gophers. Speaking of the Big Ten Championship, our coverage begins at 3 Eastern next Saturday. It'll start with BTN Tailgate live from Indy at 6:30. The pregame show will get you ready for kickoff. And after the game, instant analysis and reaction on our postgame show next Saturday on BTN and BTN To Go. Busy, busy day. We've got 3 hoops games, all the action from Indy.
All right, Kev.
And there's the axe. That's what they're playing for today. It's in the bag. That bag that says Wisconsin on it has held that axe for 12 straight battles.
Heck, they held it so long, they got their own bag.
Now Leidner coming off the interception his last time out. On first down, he'll give it to Brooks. And Brooks with 3 as we go to my call in Chicago.
Well, Kev, you just said the score. Here's how it happened. A 59-yarder from McSorley to Chris Godwin. That's what made it the score it is right now. So Badger fans, there's still a 4th quarter to go, but it might be Penn State you're facing next week.
Certainly looking that way, Mike, with Penn State up big, and that defense at Penn State has been locked in.
And they adjust well after halftime. That's probably one of their strengths.
2nd and 7 at the 28-yard line. Shannon Brooks still the running back. Motion from Wolotarski. Leidner with protection into traffic, and it's incomplete.
It should have been another pick.
Dakota Dixon and Derek Tyndall providing that traffic in Badger uniforms.
And Dixon drew a bead right on that thing. Tyndall had the shot.
Leidner's missed his last 6, Matt. 2 of the 6 misses have ended up in the hands of the Badgers.
We need the good Leidner right here. He's been Jekyll and Hyde. This half, he's been Hyde.
3rd and 7, pressure coming. Flags down. Leidner sacked. Obasi got him around the ankles.
Flags are down. They'll decline that. It's going to be holding against Minnesota. He'll decline it, take the play, and make them punt.
Holding. Offense, number 77. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
Tyler Moore's had his hands full inside today. The return of Songapolu has not helped.
Yeah, that's just good power football to the inside. Obasi just runs him down.
There's what the umpire looks like when he's throwing a flag. The view from the camera on top of the umpire's hat. Santoso to punt. Jazz Peavy gonna let that one bounce, and it'll go out of bounds at the 45. Excellent field position for the Wisconsin Badgers. Momentum right now is wearing the red of Wisconsin in a tie game. BTN is brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. You're seeing the smiling faces of our crew. All right, Dave, there you go. There's Dave smiling. Bart, Andrew, and Andrew. Terrific crew that we have had with us all season long, and we so appreciate all the hard work that they've done to make sure we get on the air each and every week. This was last night at dinner. Look how happy most of us are. Say most of us. It's a couple of people who were just, frankly, quite disappointed with everything last night, but I'm not going to say who they were. David Salata. From the 45, first down and 10. Tie ball game, 10:56 to go in the regular season finale in Madison. Corey Clement on first down with blockers, a little stiff arm, and Clement down near midfield. Keontae Harden on the stop. But we're starting to see on first down now, Matt, those runs that were 1 and 2 yards in the first half, they're 4, 5, and 6 yards now.
Yeah, so you're picking up 5. This time they're getting outside to the edge. Now, they've been pounding the middle of the belly of that defense, and they have not had much success running inside. So now they've been able to get to that edge. And then the bigger piece of this is Bart Houston. Bart Houston has played really well.
He came in for the 3rd series of the game. Then Alex Hornibrook got hurt a couple of series later. Houston has gone the rest of the way since late in that first half. On 2nd and 4. Clement, nice little start. He fumbles the football. The ball loose and covered up by Keontae Harden. Jonathan Celestine knocked it out. Keontae Harden picked it up. And the Gophers get a big turnover, and Clement limping to the sideline.
They punched that. It looks like Celestine punched it from the backside. Great awareness. Watch 13 right in the middle of your screen. He's going to come. Watch that. See, I don't even know if he really realized he was doing it, but he did it. That's a huge turnover.
Boy, momentum was all Wisconsin, and then Celestine with the left hand turns it around.
I got to tell you, just for all you young ball carriers out there, you want that ball high and tight, 4 points of pressure in against your body and against your elbow, your forearm, your head's got to be cupped and held up high. He had it down low, and Celestine's hand hit it.
How about the fact that Minnesota's now forced 19 turnovers in the last 8 games from the 26 on first down. Play action. Widener in trouble, hit as he throws down the sideline for Wolotarski, who can't pull it in. Tyndall on the coverage, and a flag.
He was out of bounds. Yeah, they're going to call it anyway.
Pass interference. Defense number 25. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Yeah, they're going to call that. They're going to call that. If he'd have whipped his head around, he had no idea where the ball was. Wolotarski was out of bounds, but he kind of forced him out. Part of that. That's a good call.
41-yard line, first down. Looking for running room. Not much there for Rodney Smith. Billy Hirschfeld, one of those sophomore defensive linemen, makes the tackle for Wisconsin.
Looks like Edwards came on a blitz and forced him to redirect, and then Hirschfeld was able to make the play. So Edwards makes the play, Hirschfeld makes the tackle.
The battle for Paul Bunyan's axe coming down to the final 9.5 minutes in a tie game. The 126th meeting all-time. Gophers lead the series 59-58 with 8 ties. The run up the middle for Smith, and Smith tackled by Dakota Dixon at the 48. It's a pickup of 5.
Those safeties have been really active here. They're gonna, now you got, here you go, 3rd and short, 3rd and very manageable. Let's see exactly what happens. They've had success running to the inside. In comes Songapello, here comes the big old boys to be able to anchor that front. Bassi and Songapello inside. Let's see where they go. Tight coverage outside. Safety's down in the box. You're adding a man.
3rd and 3.
There's a stunt.
Right up the middle. Smith won't get there.
Yeah, they brought the edge. They brought edge pressure.
And Conley was able to get the edge, get the ankle. But they ran, Kevin, they ran right into a stunt. They brought that extra guy down. They played tight coverage to the outside. And then they slanted off that edge, and they ran right into it.
The Badger defense again does its job, gets the stop. But thanks to the penalty, Minnesota advances the football and now has a chance to flip the field if Santoso can pin him deep. It'll bounce at the 15, take a little gopher roll, not much. And down inside the 14-yard line, Antonio Chenault downs this one. Bart Houston headed back to work, trying to lead his team to a home win. Wisconsin and Minnesota tied at 17. Paul Christ back to work with this offense after Corey Clement a moment ago just fumbles the football. Wisconsin trying to make their statement to move into that top 4 of the college football playoff. They're going to need a win here, and then they're going to need to win that Big Ten championship game to really state their claim as one of the top 4 teams in that playoff scenario. Movement up front. Bradwick Shaw, this one will stop before it starts. Shaw with the carry. There was movement up front, but we'll see on which side.
I thought it looked like it was on the defensive side.
So did I. Right there. That's Winston De La there.
Prior to the snap, offside, defense number 93, moving into the neutral zone, causing the offensive player to move. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Well, Merrick Jackson was not the guy we saw on that replay that moved. There's only about 80 pounds difference between Merrick Jackson and Winston De La there. So 1st and 5 now for the Badgers. 8:01 to go, 4th quarter in a tie game. Peavy gets it in motion. Peavy exploding down the sideline. Jazz Peavy turning on the Jets. Peavy breaks 1 tackle, a second, and is finally going to be stopped near the 10-yard line. Celestine and Harden with the tackle, but Jazz Peavy with the biggest play of the game for the Badgers.
There was a phenomenal block out there. And that may have been Fumagalli. I don't know. I believe it was. Watch Fumagalli. There's the first block. There it was. Right there.
Eric Steffes,
yep, that's
who is still down
44.
after making that block, Matt. And then it was off to the races for Jazz Peavy.
But I got to right there. That's the block. He tried to undercut him, and that's probably what got him. But Peavy down that right sideline. And this is good defense at the
Personal
end.
foul. Illegal block below the waist. Defense number 11.
Yeah.
Penalized half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
Antoine Winfield
This is timeout
Jr.
for an injured offensive player.
called for the illegal block. That's Eric Steffes who's limping off.
So, Kevin, what happens a lot of times when you get a little DB on a bigger, usually a lineman, but Steph is a big man also, they'll come up and they'll cut that guy. And that allows the others to be able to get in. And so that's exactly what he does right here. He goes in and cuts him. And that's the penalty they're going to call. Steffes gets into his knees, but Peavy was off to the races. Now they're down at the, 5-yard line? It'll be half the distance.
Yeah, right near the 6. They'll put it in between the 5 and 6-yard lines. A 71-yard run for Jazz Peavy. The longest play from scrimmage all year for Wisconsin. What a time for it. With 7:46 to go in the 4th, in a tie game, the final game of the season in a battle for the Axe.
Good execution, but I like the play call. Paul Christ and Joe Rudolph, they're collaborators over there calling that thing. I'm a big Paul Christ fan. I think Paul Christ is a Coach of the Year guy. I think he's done a phenomenal job with this football team.
Bradwick Shaw is the running back on 1st down and goal. Shaw the carry, and Shaw airborne to the 2. Winfield with the tackle. It's 2nd and goal.
Corey Clement coming back in, which tells you how much confidence they have. I know you put the ball on the ground,
But here, we're trusting you down here. We need this. So let's go get it. Corey, you're our best player. Let's prove it.
1 touchdown today, 12 on the season. 22 carries for 88 yards since October 15th. He's had 5 games over 100, and he's second in all of football with 163 carries coming into today, 22 more today. Clement on second down, behind his lead blocker, in for the touchdown, and the Badgers take the lead.
Just power football. Just a power to the right. You're pulling your backside guard. And then Corey Clement has to do 2 things. First, he has to exhibit some patience and allow things to develop. And then once he sees it, he's got to really hit the button right there and then power through. And you can see he was able to get through before any body part was down. And it's the correct call.
Second rushing touchdown today. 13th on the year for Corey Clement. And Wisconsin already headed to the Big Ten championship game, trying to go with Paul Bunyan's axe secured here in Madison. Extra point up and good for Andrew Endicott. And a touchdown lead for Wisconsin. Corey Clement getting some reaction and some celebration in on the sidelines in a 1-touchdown game. Badgers have just taken a 1-touchdown lead with 6:42 to play in the 4th. Wisconsin looks very much like they'll be playing Penn State, and the Nittany Lions up big over Michigan State right now. We know the Badgers are in thanks to Iowa's win over Nebraska yesterday. That's the Big Ten championship game. This the battle for the axe, and the kickoff to the back of the end zone for the touchback for Minnesota. Well, this is not the only time the Gophers and the Badgers are playing today, because they're matching up later tonight on BTN in women's volleyball. Number 2, Minnesota. Number 3, Wisconsin. A primetime showdown. Coverage starting at 8:30 Eastern. Presented by Tachikara on BTN and BTN to go.
All right, so we need Mitch Leidner from the first half. He's been cold here in the second half, but he still has the capability to be able to make the big plays both with his feet and with his arm. Now this Wisconsin defense has gotten a couple pass rushers going. Let's see who wins.
Gophers had 226 yards in the first half, 65 in the second. Leidner on first down, steps away from pressure, into traffic again, and trying to find Eric Carter. Can't make the play, second down.
Good coverage. They try to clear that whole right side and then bring him back underneath. There's Jay Johnson, the defensive coordinator rather. Offensive coordinator, sorry. You can see the concepts. You just have to get the ball to him. And right now, Leidner has just hit a cold patch.
0 for his last 7. See if they can find Drew Wolotarski. He's in that slot to the bottom of your screen. Second down. Look in that direction. Instead goes to the sideline for Still, and it's broken up. Jamerson there. And it's third down.
Third and long. Defensively, you got to make a decision if you're Justin Wilcox. You're going to sit back and let you play a zone, or you're going to bring a little bit pressure and see if Leidner reacts to it. And then the other thing is you can play a zone and bring in extra guys.
Third down and 10. Wisconsin a little confused, shifting around quickly as Leidner gets the shotgun snap. Pressure coming over the middle. And it's intercepted again. Jacobs with the pick. Jacobs down the sidelines and inside the 10. The third Leidner interception thrown today. And Wisconsin's got first and goal. Interceptions in the second half for Mitch Leidner.
He had some pressure, Kevin, but he just needed to be a little more judicious with that ball because it was a crossing route. He knew he was going to have to take time. Crossing routes take time. Here he comes back underneath. You can see the crossers, and he just missed him. He missed him poorly. Of course, I don't know if you can miss him well. I mean,
Oh, if it goes into the hands of one of your other teammates.
Well, then you didn't miss him.
You missed the one guy you were throwing to. Dario Ogunbowale was the running back on first down. That's PB in motion. Ogunbowale with the carry up the middle. Touchdown!
Let's see if he's all the way in. See if a body part didn't touch before that ball crossed the goal line. Regardless of that, Ben Benshaw, number 66, had a great block. Let's see what goes on here. Yeah, that's close. Nothing's touching. Nothing's touching touch. And from our angle, it's hard.
Plays under further review.
That little bit of angle we're at.
There's the other side. So close.
Let's see. There's the break. And it's that, I don't know, that looks like it could be 6.
It's a touchdown on the field. Indisputable video evidence. Obviously the criteria. We have now gotten our contractually obligated indisputable video evidence statement on the air today. Always key. That one's going to be a difficult call for our replay booth.
Well, it's going to be a difficult call all the way around. And so, is there enough to overturn the call on the field? That, you know, this angle is not good if we're not straight down. But you see the umpire sitting right there.
Here we go. He has seen all he needs to see, and the ruling on the field,
it's going to be good.
After further review, the ruling on the field of touchdown stands.
hard to see enough evidence to overturn the call on the field. And Dario Ogunbowale with his third touchdown of the year.
But Kevin, lost in all that. Benshaw had a really nice block, but they ran right at the teeth of that defense, and it scored.
Endicott with the extra point and a 31-17 lead for the Wisconsin Badgers. 6:15 to go, and Paul Christ looking for that axe. 18-7, 24 unanswered points, helped in a large part by 3 second-half interceptions thrown by Mitch Leidner, and Wisconsin with a 2-touchdown lead.
It's been a tale of 2 games. I mean, really, or halves rather. Leidner in the first half was lights out. In the second half has not gone his way at all.
Now Minnesota in some real trouble. Down 2 scores with 6:15 to go in the fourth. And talk about a steep climb for the Gophers against a defense that does not yield a lot and has yielded nothing in the way of points in the second half.
Yeah, Justin Wilcox's defense has woken up here in the second half, and they've kind of taken this thing over. And now you put this offense in a position to have to throw, which means Beagle 47 and Watt 42. They have a chance. They can smell the blood in the water.
Leidner into traffic again, and Eric Carter the intended receiver, but he was well covered. Lubert Figaro was there, and it's second down. Paul Bunyan's axe. It's been a part of this border rivalry since 1948. They used to play for the slab of bacon, which got lost and then was discovered in a... Badgers have won 12 straight. And Mitch Leidner, look at the numbers from the first to the second half. Leidner again, hit as he throws, going deep, and that one is intercepted again! The 4th pick in the second half for the Badgers, and the 2nd for Sojourn Shelton.
Great pressure up the middle. Hit him right square in the bully bone, and that was Watt. This is the time of the defense comes to life, and watch, here he comes. Right through. Good clean hit, but he lays it out. This is really a great job of Shelton just going and getting the ball.
Another BTN standout play, the interception. Shelton, the bobble, and the secure.
Has his little hoodie on underneath there just in case he gets cold. Just flops that thing right on
Put it
top
over the helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
8 passing touchdowns allowed, 21 interceptions, 4 of them in the second half tonight. And now the Badgers can do what they do best, sit on a lead. Clement on first down, and Clement wriggles forward to the 37 as we go downstairs to Lisa Byington.
Kevin, the consistency of this Wisconsin program since 2011, if they pull it out here, the 4th different conference championship under 3 different head coaches, all hired by Barry Alvarez, who I talked to in the pregame. He said fit is the thing that you look for to fit in this Wisconsin school. He said, you know what, I always say Wisconsin doesn't have an overabundance of talent, and I kind of joke the heart and soul can come from Wisconsin, but most likely the feet and the hands are going to come from somewhere else. And Paul Chryst knows what it takes to win here at Wisconsin. He's consistent in his demeanor. Most importantly, he has won over the high schools here in this state.
Now, he came here to Barry Alvarez as Clement gets the carry, and Clement will have the first down. When he got here, the first thing he said is, we're locking down the borders of Wisconsin. We do not want the high school talent in the state of Wisconsin to leave. And you look up and down this depth chart, and you see Wisconsin guys at fullback, the offensive line, 3 of the 5 starters, natives of Wisconsin, and then you get the hands and the feet from elsewhere. You've got Corey Clement from New Jersey, Dario Goodwillwale's a Wisconsin kid, but Bradrick Shaw from Alabama, Wheelwright from Ohio, Peavy from Ohio, Peavy from the state of Wisconsin. They've done a nice job of blending.
And they'll go down to Florida and get the guys they need to get down there, and they just do a good job. I'm really impressed with Paul Chryst.
On first down at the 43, Rollis with another play. Nick Rollis, the senior, has played a whale of a game today. Loss of 1 on the play back to the 42-yard line.
I think one of the things that Paul Chryst does best is he knows his players. The sign of good
First
coaching.
charge. Timeout of the half. Minnesota. It's a 30-second timeout.
Minnesota will take that quick timeout.
Yeah.
We'll step aside. Finish that thought when we return in 30 seconds.
Got it.
Was injured in that first half and obviously out for the rest of this game in his street clothes, but Bart Houston, the other quarterback, has done a fine job leading this Wisconsin team back from a 10-point deficit.
Yeah, and it goes to what I was saying. The sign of good coaching is don't ask your players to do something they're not capable of doing. And sometimes you have a scheme and you go, this is what we do, and you have a guy who can't really do it. That's bad coaching. I see it all the time. This guy plays to his strengths, and he does a great job of it.
Bradrick Shaw on the carry on 2nd and 11 at the 42, and Shaw going to lose another yard back to the 41-yard line, and a timeout going to be utilized by Minnesota. I'm not sure the clock ever ran. Timeout on the field. We'll step aside for another 30-second timeout. Coach Badger football and his statue out front of Camp Randall Stadium, and the football offices over on the side.
That's a sharp cookie right there. You know, I had a chance to talk to him yesterday, and one of the things I said, hey, look, you better lock up your head coach. That guy's going to be coach of the year. And he goes, I'm way ahead of you.
Paul Chryst, better get a thank you note in the mail to you. Negotiating on his behalf. 3rd and 12. Peavy in motion, and Peavy will get the carry. Breaks the tackle in the backfield. Got a block with a flag down, and Peavy down at the line of scrimmage at the 41. It was David Edwards, the freshman on the edge, who had the flag land at his feet.
Who's played a pretty good game here. Edwards has played a pretty good right tackle.
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 79. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
And you're going to watch him. As soon as he hits him, he's going to turn to look. He looks at the official like, did you see that?
Hard to miss. Right in the middle there of that play. So 4th down, and Wisconsin will punt it back to Minnesota. Anthony Lottie with Keontae Harden and Antonio Chenault back deep. Badgers letting the clock run a little bit here.
Yeah, well, there you go. Run that thing down.
Into the end zone for the touchback. TJ Watt running down on special teams. He's been all over the field, and thus is our Duluth Trading hardest working player. 6 tackles, 1.5 sacks for TJ Watt. That's 9.5 now on the year, and Watt's been all over the field today.
He plays the same way his brother plays. He plays hard all the time. He never quits. He's one of those guys who's a smart player. When the opportunity comes, he takes advantage of it. Plays on special teams. Does everything you want in a player. He could come back, but there's J.J., his brother. And
look at the comparison. The 2010 season for J.J. Watt, this season for T.J. Watt. You know, not saying, but
not bad.
T.J. Watt, not bad indeed. Leidner in trouble again. He's going to run, and now he'll slide. It's where he starts his slide, where they will mark it at the 22. Ryan Conley was the nearest Badger to the play. And Wisconsin will happily allow Leidner to scramble for 2 yards.
So Watt could come back next year, but I would doubt it. I think he's NFL ready, and I think he'll be a high pick.
Leidner has to throw that one away. The pressure from Vince Beagle. And now 3rd and 8. And we've talked about the struggles in the second half for the Gophers, but from a graphic illustration standpoint, these are the results of their second half drives. Pick, punt, punt, pick, pick. Not what you're looking for when you're trying to win the axe on the road. 3rd and 8.
Oh, nice move.
And sacked again. Dooley and Beagle meeting at Leidner, the 5th Badger sack. Minnesota had allowed just 9 all year entering play today.
Now, I want you to watch Beagle's spin move. It's a thing of beauty. It's exactly as you coach it up. Watch him down in the bottom. And so you're going to use the momentum of the offensive guy against him. See that? Boom. That is just, that is really pretty. Dooley on the backside, another good job also, but Vince Beagle, once they start to lean, you use it against them. It's just like a log falling down.
Santoso with the punt. Driving PV back with a fair catch to the 38-yard line, and with 2:38 to go, the Badgers will start again. Look more at that spin.
That is really, see how he got his upfield shoulder, and then you pin him with that elbow. And he did it just picture perfect. Vince Beagle, the old cranberry farmer that he is, he's, I'd have him on my team every time. Guys like that, those are the kind of guys you win with all the time. High energy, positive all the time. Always have something to say. There's always a repartee going back and forth. Oh, and by the way, he knows how to play.
Well, and with that spin, it reminds me, Justin Wilcox called him the Tasmanian Devil yesterday. That's exactly what the Tasmanian Devil does, spins. Shaw on 1st down. And Bradford Shaw to the 41-yard line, a pickup of 3. Winfield on the stop. Coming up on the Big Ten State Farm post-game report, Dave and the gang will get you caught up on the final week in this conference before the championship game. That's all coming up. Our State Farm post-game report.
So Wisconsin, Penn State in the Big Ten championship game.
Not perhaps what was predicted.
No, but Ohio State with the win won't move.
No,
so how do you get another Big Ten team into that top 4? Is it possible? The answer is yes.
Gonna need a little help.
They're gonna need a little help, and the conference games are coming. And so, you know, Washington could falter there in a championship game. Clemson could falter there in a championship game. One of those teams in there is going to have to do something, and then the Big Ten champion will emerge.
What's going to be very interesting are a couple things, really. One, what the committee does with Michigan in their loss today. And
exactly.
2, how much value does the committee put on winning that championship game? Because if you put more stock into that, say, for a Wisconsin, even with a similar record, do they vault a team like Michigan who beat them earlier in the year?
But not by much.
The freshman Shaw with the carry to the 45. Minnesota out of timeouts.
Yeah, they played great defense against Ohio State and against Michigan. And it was a one-score game. And they played their style. And their style is, we're going to keep it short, or close rather. We're going to play field position just like they've done here in this game. And they're comfortable doing it. And that head coach is terrific. He knows what his team is capable of, and he plays right to what they do.
Badgers can salt it away with a 1st down. 3rd and 3. The handoff, the 1st down, and the X. Wisconsin is keeping Paul Bunyan's axe 13 straight seats. And the axe unveiled because mathematically this one is over. Wisconsin doesn't have to get another yard. They're a couple of knees away as Corey Clement surveys the axe, which is staying in Madison.
Ingold's got an idea, but Clement's like, yeah, that sounds good. Forget about that.
Our State Farm postgame report is coming. Wisconsin in the victory formation. Penn State with 4 minutes to go is up by 26 points over Michigan State. I think we can safely say next Saturday at 8 Eastern on Fox, your Big Ten championship game, Wisconsin and Penn State. And the winner of that game, will they have enough and get enough help to become a potential second Big Ten team in the college football playoff? One would assume that Ohio State will be able to retain a spot in the top 4 despite not making it to the Big Ten championship game.
One thing is clear. The Big Ten is the strongest conference in college football, and I also believe they have the best coaching in all the conferences of college football.
And there, the happiest moment for the Badgers. The axe staying in Madison. The 13th straight win in the series for Wisconsin, and the Big Ten West champs will take the axe for now. They'll look for another trophy next week in Indianapolis. And Wisconsin's defense closes 6 straight series without allowing a first down. Dominance to close the game by the Badger D. 5 sacks, 4 interceptions, and no first downs in the last 6 series as we go downstairs to Lisa Byington.
Coach, you were down by 10 at the half. You scored 24 unanswered points. What enabled this comeback here for your team?
Well, I think you certainly great job defensively. Takeaways, we were really good defensively and took advantage of those opportunities, short fields, and finished it off. And it was takes everyone.
On offense, you had to go with Bart Houston. What did you see from your quarterback to handle this kind of situation on his senior day here in the second half?
You know, he's come in and last few weeks has been playing really well and doing some good stuff, and he competes and he does a great job of working, and he was himself. He didn't do anything out of the ordinary, but it was good. He was really good for us, and appreciate the way he's going about it. It was a good team win today.
13 straight now against Minnesota. What does it mean for this program, for you and the 13 seniors to keep the axe in Madison?
The biggest thing is this team was able to do it this year, right? And all those streaks, it's good history, but for this team, this day, they had to go play a good Minnesota team and win to get the axe, and now they get to enjoy it.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Congratulations to Paul Christ and the Wisconsin Badgers, winners 31-17. The axe stays in Madison for a 13th straight year. That'll do it from Camp Randall. Our final score 31-17. Wisconsin coming up. The State Farm postgame report. Dave and the gang will get you caught up on the final week of Big Ten play. For the final time this season, for Matt Millen, Lisa Byington, and Mike Pereira, and our outstanding BTN crew, I'm Kevin Kugler.